Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Tuesday! Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
You are red as hell.
Pretty sure I got sun poisoning.
Damn. Oh, did you?
I'm 95% sure.
No sunblock? Or you just doesn't matter?
Sunblock?
You don't use sunblock?
Are you kidding me?
Look at him.
He's a boat captain. What you mean
Cleveland
sunblock?
to Florida in February is like 0 to 100.
You aren't kidding.
It is crazy.
It was, I'm on fire! And it was hot too, man. It was so hot.
It sucked ass here.
But I loved it.
Although it's supposed to be warm today. And
I almost didn't come back. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times where I've done that.
Send
where I'm
my
like,
things.
I'm not going back.
Why would I go back to 30 degrees?
I'm not going back.
Who taught you into it? Your
My wife. We had a 5-minute conversation. We have a grandbaby here.
Yeah.
So I got outvoted 20-1.
Yeah.
Her votes count for 20.
Couldn't you just bring the grandbaby down to Florida?
No.
I would love to do that. Yeah, I would love to do
It's
that.
like it's not the same.
Florida was great, though.
Yeah.
Just absolutely beautiful weather. It was like 75 sunny.
You were right on Clearwater Beach?
St. Pete Beach. I thought we were going to Clearwater. This tells you what I know about our travel plans.
Yeah.
We're on the flight, and I said, where are we staying again in Clearwater Beach? She goes, we're not staying on Clearwater Beach. It's St. Pete Beach.
Yeah.
Same thing, but
Well, my best friends from college lived there for years. Fantastic.
It's amazing.
Love St. Pete Beach.
yeah,
Love it.
it is. It's great.
By
It
the way,
really
we
is.
got to tell this story real quick.
Sure.
Because
Lord.
I heard laughter coming from behind the
Jason and
glass,
I
so it must be
have
great.
been here. I don't know what time Jason. He actually beat me here, but I got here at like 10:30, and so Jason, myself, McNuggets, and Anthony were having a half hour of mostly inappropriate for air conversation.
I'll say, because when I walked in, I go, what the hell did I just walk in
I
on?
know, but. And by the way, the story I'm about to tell is the most appropriate thing, and it's barely appropriate.
Oh, okay, which means it probably isn't.
So we were talking. I don't even know how it came up, but
It's been an incredible 45 minutes.
I mentioned that
Wow.
a couple of years ago I had a vasectomy.
Yeah.
Right? Normal. A lot of guys my age get
Sure.
vasectomies. And Mike was completely confused by this.
He didn't know what it was.
Well, he knew what it was.
I knew what it was.
What the hell are you confused about then?
I
Both
Well,
had a vasectomy.
I
He
didn't
said
know,
to me, "You want to tell him what you
No,
asked
you know
me?"
what, Bo, I'm gonna laugh through this. You just tell it.
So I didn't come for this part.
He-
Now,
he-
you didn't
yeah.
think that was the same thing as circumcision, right?
No, he wasn't that confused.
Oh, okay.
But he goes, "Do you have to be? I guess I should use an appropriate word. Do you have to be aroused to get a circumcision? I mean, to get a
to get a vasectomy.
vasectomy."
What the hell
He
ever
thought- he
even
thought you-
made you think
He
that?
thought you worked on the
The vasectomy is done in
on the pipe and not the seed.
No. It's done
Wait, no.
on your testicles,
Yes.
not on your penis.
But
Yeah.
even if it
Well,
was done on the penis,
Could you imagine how painful that would
right?
be?
But why would it need to be?
I have
Well,
no
okay,
idea.
Can I explain?
This is the mind of McNuggets, and I don't go there because
so we're just-
sometimes I can't get out.
We're just dying over here.
I'll use the exact same analogy I used to them. I thought it was like putting a roadblock on a highway.
And I said,
And-
no, they blow up the bridge. They blow
And
up
I
the road.
assumed
Yeah,
it'd
they
be
don't let anything
easier
get to the highway.
to put a roadblock on a straightaway than it would be Dead Man's
Yeah.
Curve.
No.
Oh,
So that's
my
why
God.
in
Cut it
my
off
mind, you had to be of a certain mind state.
The
to
on-ramp
get a
is cut
vasectomy.
off.
that was a
Yeah.
that was a good analogy.
It's gone.
I was
That
like,
was a
I
G.
said
Bush
to him,
analogy.
well, I don't know. Like I would have had to watch porn before.
Are you going to work this into your comedy set tomorrow night?
Anthony might.
No, but Anthony honestly
what
might.
says.
Oh my God.
And again, that was the most appropriate thing
That
we
was the
talked about.
most appropriate thing that we could talk
I
about.
don't even think I want to know where it went from there.
Oh, you do want to know the rest, but
Because
we
when
can't tell
I
you on
walked
the air.
in, what I heard come out of your mouth, I did a double take. I'm like, what the hell is Bull talking about right now?
do we do for this this job? Do you guys do sensitive? Do we have like an email sensitivity training where
Sensitivity
you gotta
training?
go? You be like,
Clearly, no.
No, we do not. The funniest thing is, like, Director Steve is a little more straight-laced than the rest of us.
A little.
Now, he's come around working with us for almost a year now, But like he walked in, and he would be popping in and out of a couple of conversations, and he'd be turning bright. He was redder than you. Like he was so embarrassed.
Never mind, I'll come back.
Well, on one hand, I'm glad I missed that conversation. On another hand,
Nah, you
I
would've
wish I
liked it.
would have had an opportunity to enjoy it. Are you ready, McNuggets? We're like
Tomorrow!
31 hours and counting now.
I was telling Jason before, this is probably the first thing that led us into the other stuff. Not exactly led us, but
Yeah.
I did a dress rehearsal for 2 friends last night.
Yeah.
2 people I trust. They won't be at the show. They live in Texas.
Yeah. Would you do it Zoom?
I FaceTimed them, yeah, and I did like a run through. I got a couple laughs, and now I'm nervous because in my head,
You're cocky.
I think I might be good.
You're
Yeah.
feeling it.
And
Oh,
now,
boy.
if it bombs, I'll actually be genuinely upset that I bombed.
The bigger the crowd, the bigger the laugh. Just because laughing is contagious.
Oh, yeah.
So if 5 or 6 people in the crowd laugh, oftentimes it spreads. So
Yes.
I think you're in good shape here, Mike. I think you're in
excited.
really good shape.
You're in good shape because if he's funny, we'll laugh. But if he's terrible, we're gonna laugh too. So you might not know the difference.
Yeah, it could be horrible good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we tweeted out that we're either going to be, Anthony and myself, we will either be funny or so generally and genuinely bad that it'll be funny. So there's guaranteed to be laughs either way. But Anthony said he finished his set. A lot of self-deprecation in his set.
Good.
Possibly my lack of medical knowledge could be added in. He's writing stuff down as we speak. I'm not sure if he's working on his set or taking notes. And tomorrow we're going to roast all you guys.
How are ticket sales going? Do we have any idea?
So Polk, I had a conversation with Polk last night.
I
Yeah.
need to order these right now.
He said that Pickwick and Frolic is very happy with the ticket sales. Now, they may have expected us to sell 2 and we've sold 6. I have no idea what scale that means on. They are very pleased, but I know at least 25 people from Anthony's posse are coming.
Wow.
I think I might have 25 to 30 people coming from my basketball squad, plus you guys, plus some people from upstairs.
Are you going to do it in basketball gear? I think you should.
No, I'm wearing a Nick Chubb
headband,
jersey.
tight
Nick Chubb
shorts,
jersey.
tube socks. Go full Polk on this one.
Hey, I'll put back on my rec specs from like
Tomorrow's gonna be
The
so
Rex
much
specs,
fun.
Those are great.
Tomorrow's
It is going to be
so
fun.
much
I am so looking forward to
Oh,
tomorrow.
this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
I think
Is
it's also
everybody
the first
coming?
time.
Is there anybody in our crew that can't make it for some
The
reason?
only one I'm not positive on is Brad. And that's because he's gotten worse than G at answering his phone.
He really has.
He's
He
terrible.
just doesn't answer anything anymore.
Yeah.
I
So-
mean, he at least has an excuse. Like
the mayor.
Like somebody, like you know how many phones he got? Me,
Yeah.
I just got this one little burner phone.
Yeah.
I just be asleep. I just be up.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I'll make up for Brad. I brought 3 black people to make up, right? So we'll be represented in the audience. So
Good.
you got three black people and 1 Asian.
And I'll say this.
Well, we're covered. We're
Going to be
I was
diverse.
gonna-
Title IX.
The McNuggets draws a diverse crowd.
He does.
I do draw a diverse crowd. I was going to.
Go ahead.
Well, real quick, because we got G on this. I had a joke that I was going to cut from my set.
Oh, you
And then I'm not telling it now, G, but just.
okay, I got scared.
I told
It's
it to
in
G.
though, right?
Well, it's back in, but I told it to G because I was like, I'm cutting this from my set. I think it's a little too edgy. I'll just tell you. And G and his boy Rashad loved it, so I put it back in.
Yeah, man.
Great.
So if you guys, if he says it and y'all cancel him, you can just come.
Come see G.
Come
Bush.
see G. Bush.
Is there anything remotely controversial?
I mean,
Could we get a headline out of this?
Controversial, no. Could I get canceled if it's clipped at a certain part? Maybe.
Oh, interesting.
Be
So we're going to
careful.
avoid doing that.
Edgy
You're not going to get
McNuggets.
canceled.
I
You're not gonna
love
get
it.
canceled.
we
It's a lot of self-deprecation.
We stand
A lot of
behind
making fun of
McNuggets.
myself.
Spicy nuggets.
Oh,
Spicy
Spicy
nuggets.
nuggets.
this is spicy nuggets
Spicy
tonight. I like
nuggets.
that.
Yeah.
Steal that.
Good.
Wardrobe is key because before you open your mouth, you're making a statement.
I'm wearing a Nick Chubb jersey.
Are you really?
It plays into a joke. So
Well,
Okay.
I'm wearing a Nick Chubb
Now, if
jersey.
we can only get Nick Chubb to be there.
Is that the Chubb jersey that was sent to me that you swiped?
That you'll get on Thursday.
You're keeping it just for that?
Yes.
Depending on how it goes, you may keep it. I don't know. If
Maybe.
it goes well, I'm going to have you sign it and it's going up on eBay.
There you go.
Yeah. Imagine I get my own Netflix special out of this. Like watch me put Polk out of business. Like this is the last Mike Polk Jr. show ever. And now
Or
it's just
maybe
a-
you'll be like the Wednesday regular there.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be
like
McNuggets
that.
night. McDonald's can sponsor it. Free McNuggets for everybody.
man, this dude always get the best ideas, man. I be seeing these little ideas in my head. I say, yeah, this is. I love to go to that, man. Fries.
Free nuggets?
It's like-
I'm there.
It's like a roadhouse. You be my regular Saturday night. What's the about regular
He's
Wednesday
never
night?
seen that, I can assure
Yeah,
you.
right.
chance.
Animal House?
No.
Roadhouse.
I bet you haven't seen Animal House either.
I've seen it. It's my dad's favorite movie of all time.
Oh, Animal House
I grew up on Animal
is
House.
just all-time
My
great.
uncle was just like John Belushi in that movie. Like, I think he
Was
devised
it over
his
when the
entire
Germans bombed
personality.
Pearl Harbor?
The Germans quit it. He's on a
Let
roll.
him go. He's on a
had
roll.
The college sweatshirt, just a generic college sweatshirt.
Which is the greatest all-time college T-shirt sweatshirt ever.
Yep.
College.
Yep.
And I loved it. Mr. Blutarski, 0.0.
And he's got the pencils in his nose.
Let me tell you, my first semester at Kent was not far off of 0.0. We had
So
some
you
work
were the
to do.
mini Blutarski.
Oh, I had a 1.7 GPA, and I had the highest GPA of everyone. Like, I was the valedictorian of my friends with a 1.7.
So you just weren't trying because
Was
you're
the
a
whole
smart
part of
guy.
that
You know
Yeah.
what? You know what? A small role in that movie, that I think was his first movie, was Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon was in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stars in that movie.
Oh
He-
yeah.
He's the one screaming all is well.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
All is well.
Which is now like the Office meme.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see what the hell was the name of that with The Outsiders by chance? We're going way back now.
Pony
The
Boy?
S.E. Hinton.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
The cast of that movie
Oh my God. Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe,
Ralph Macchio,
Ralph Macchio, the guy that was in Roadhouse, Patrick
Patrick
Swayze.
Swayze. Yeah.
R.I.P. Patrick
It
Swayze.
goes on. I'm not thinking of
It
them all
goes
now,
on,
but yeah.
Matt Dillon.
Dylan, yeah.
Dang.
It was like it launched. Diane Lane was like the love interest. Cherry.
I don't
This,
remember that.
this
She
is
was
the,
in that.
This is that's the movie version of the Cleveland Browns '95 coaching staff.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
It's their
exactly
who's
right.
who.
Yeah, The Outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Speaking of going down this rabbit hole, speaking of Patrick Swayze, you remember that Saturday Night Live sketch with Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley?
He
Yes.
was
For the
the
last
Chippendales
Chippendales.
dancer.
The Chippendales.
They were fighting for the last
Right.
spot on the Chippendales team.
Chris Farley's name was Barney. I remember.
I don't know that Farley was ever funnier than in that
Yep.
scene.
Yep.
And that's saying something
was
because
amazing.
he was so good.
Yeah.
McNuggets.
One more thing, then we'll get back on track here. Just to put a bow tie on this entire opening 12, 13 minutes of chaos to start the show.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a medical professional who watches
That's stunning to me.
watches the show quite frequently. And the text I just got from her, ... What the F are you thinking? You dumbass.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gabby.
Yeah.
So she doesn't think it's going to be funny at all. Is that what
No,
she's
I'm-
No,
she's
to
talking
the
about
same
the
conversation.
vasectomy.
About
Yeah,
the
yeah.
vasectomy.
Yes.
I thought she was killing you for agreeing to do this comedy set.
Oh my
No,
God.
she will be there, though. She will be in attendance.
I was at a party over the reason I went to Florida was for a 50th birthday party, and there was someone there who I've never seen this before in my life. It was the worst haircut I've ever seen. In the back,
Yeah.
there was like a horseshoe size bald spot. And we were at the table that I was sitting at, we were taking bets like, what the hell is that? Is it a birth defect? Maybe he doesn't grow hair there. Maybe his barber had COVID and sneezed when he was cutting his hair. My guess was that he finished last in his fantasy league.
Oh, maybe.
Yep.
And the person who finished first got to give him a haircut.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And by the
Yeah.
way, I think that would be a great one for us next year, whoever wins it, so you would get to cut. Google Tim Tebow.
The Fryer.
The
I know.
Fryer.
Yep.
It is literally, I laughed so freaking hard when I saw this haircut. And I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but when Tim Tebow was a rookie with the Jets, I think he
No,
was,
it's Broncos.
was it the Broncos that did that, or was he after he?
Nope, I'm looking at the
Okay.
picture right now. It'll
Call
be
it
on
up.
tag board in 30 seconds.
They rookie hazed him by giving him a Friar Tuck haircut. And I swear to God, if I,
I don't even remember what is a Friar Tuck
it's
haircut?
just a ring.
You'll
You'll
see
see
it
it in a
in
second.
about-
You'll see it in a second.
Yeah, okay.
Oh
Gotcha.
my God! Now it probably
Is it
isn't
because
gonna
of
hold
mine?
up, but
Similar to mine?
I couldn't stop laughing with the first time I saw this.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's
That is so beautiful.
That is
Wow.
weird.
Wow.
he has that after stunt. Have you ever watched the Vikings the show?
I know the show, but I've not watched it.
You gotta watch.
That's
it.
what he looks like.
That is Just
Gotta
a
get
piece
that.
of art. That will be McNuggets next year if he finishes last.
I'll try next year.
You can't finish last, second, 2 years in a row, can you?
Yeah, because you're gonna want to walk around like that for a couple of weeks. Man, because that's a bad look. It takes forever to grow in. Okay, let's dive
do
in.
it.
Anything else? Have we done? Do you want to promote how to get tickets? Because we've talked about this comedy
we will
show.
drop the ticket link in the chat. It's on our Twitter. We will put it on our YouTube page. If you search UCSS in any capacity, you'll be able to find the show tomorrow, 8 o'clock, 7:30 it starts. I think Anthony's going to go on about 7:45. I go on about 8:05, but 7:30 is the official start time. Come hang out with us. Even if you don't think we're funny, we're all going to be there. We're all hanging out.
And Mike Polk's going to be the professional. He's going to do his set
And there's
at the end.
And there's another
real comedian on top of Polk. So
wow.
there's
Bonus.
us two bozos and then two real legit
Now,
comedians.
was there any talk of you guys teaming up for like a Laurel and Hardy routine?
If it goes well, maybe part 2.
Like Lewis and Martin, part 2.
We'll see.
All
Not
right.
yet.
Okay.
We got to survive this solo mission first.
I like this first question. I don't think Bull cared for it much based on your comments in the phone call this morning. I thought it was creative. I don't know who came up with it.
Yeah.
Who is the most valuable non-quarterback in the NFL? I took this so seriously,
this is
I made a
nice
top 5.
Okay, my thought on this was just that, like, people always want to say, well, Justin Jefferson should be in the MVP conversation. And the quarterback, no other position.
Yeah, but that's not what this is. That's
Well,
what,
I hear you.
'cause you're right. I mean,
Yeah.
who moves the needle in the NFL?
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, period. Now, there are some other guys. I think I've got a couple here that do. Maybe a half point or a point here or there on a line.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't want to confuse this with MVP talk because
Right.
it's a quarterback
Yeah.
league. For a non-quarterback to win the MVP,
When's the last time it happened? Was it
I
Adrian
can't
Peter-
even
Adrian-
remember when it
Adrian
happened.
Peterson.
I think it was, yeah.
I was
He
going to
rushed
say
for
it's going to
2,000.
take someone to rush for 2,500 yards.
I don't think it's ever going to happen again because now we so know
I think
the
a defensive
value of
end
quarterback.
or a pass rusher could if they get, if someone gets to like 25 sacks.
I just still don't think that's as much anywhere near the impact that a great quarterback is
Okay,
having.
that's
But
very
to
fair.
answer the question, I would actually can't name a single player because I would say it's a great offensive line is the most valuable thing because ultimately protecting the quarterback because the quarterback's the most important player.
Yeah.
I think the offensive line, a great offensive line. So, whether it's a Joe Batonio or something, like we think of the guys that get the sacks or catch the passes, but I actually think a great offensive line unit is the most important thing besides the quarterback in the league.
Jay, did you come up with any players?
Travis Kelce off the top of my head was the
That
first
was
one I
my
thought of.
slam dunk number 1.
Yeah, that's who I thought of.
I think, see if we're in line on the thinking. When I approached this, I said to me, it has to be one player who's head and shoulders better than everybody else at that
his position. Absolutely.
And that's him. He literally, to me, especially with some of the other top tight ends this year taking a step back, he is in a league all by himself. And then you think about that position. Belichick made that position famous again, really.
Yeah.
Because it was glorified blockers, might catch 2 or 3 balls a game. And then what Urban did at Florida kind of carried over to the college success. And then Belichick just repeated that. He had Gronk and Henderson, which is just mind-blowing.
Aaron Hernandez.
Or Hernandez. I said Henderson, yeah.
Right.
Aaron Hernandez.
Before he was killing people.
Before he was a murderer.
Well,
actually, that was
he was
after
already-
he was a
yeah,
murderer.
maybe he was already.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I that was the first name I thought of.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's Travis Kelce because he is not, I think he's the best ever to play it. I think he's better than Gronk now.
You think he's better than Gonzalez and Gronk?
I do.
That's tough.
I think he is, and because
tough.
there's such an ocean between Travis and all the other tight ends.
Tough.
I don't think there's that big an ocean. I know Mark Andrews didn't have a big year.
He didn't.
But he was hurt, and Lamar Jackson was hurt.
Right.
And one guy's playing with Patrick Mahomes. If Mark Andrews is healthy and playing with Patrick Mahomes, I think he puts up as good a numbers as Kelce.
1,300 yards.
I hear you, and I do think Kelce may be the greatest tight end of all time. In fairness, these last bunch of years he's played with maybe the guy who's going to be the greatest quarterback of all time.
Well, Gronkowski
But
played with the
Gronkowski did
greatest
too. Tony
quarterback.
Gonzalez didn't, though.
No, Tony had, who did he
Play with
play
Matt Ryan. I mean, he
Trent
played with Matt.
Green.
Trent Green for half his career. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Elvis Gerbach? Did he have Gerbach?
Yep, he might have had him too.
I mean, I said Kelce because they trade Tyreek Hill and they go back to the Super Bowl. Like, that's remarkable. They're
Right.
not in the Super Bowl
Yep.
without Travis Kelce. They're not still playing.
See,
Yeah, I agree with that.
You guys are missing the point, man. Y'all missed it. Y'all had an opportunity. I let y'all talk.
Yeah.
you got?
What do you got?
How do you not have Jamar Chase right here, bro? Jamar Chase, overall, receiver is the next best position. Let me tell you why. You look at what Tua did, right? Tua was a nondescript person. They got him Jalen Waddle. They got him Tyreek Hill, playoffs. You look at what happened to Josh Allen. He wasn't really doing nothing his first couple years. Stephon Diggs, boom. They right off into the sunset. You just talked about Travis Kelce. I count him as a receiver. He's more of a receiver. He ain't blocking nobody. For me, It's the receiver position. The receiver position has now been elevated because if you look at a really great receiver with one of the best positions or the most important position as quarterback, you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, but he doesn't even. I mean, your eyes can tell you he's the best receiver, but he doesn't even. Where is he in receiving yards leaders?
Well, he
Travis
missed a few
Kelce?
games.
I know he
he
did.
was
No,
hurt.
no, I'm looking at Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, 1,338 yards. The next closest guy, 914 yards. Receptions, he had 24 more receptions than the next closest guy, and double the touchdowns than the number 2 guy was Kittle.
Well, see, this is.
Are you talking
11.
just tight ends?
You talking
Yeah,
tight
but
ends.
now I'm saying so.
I think you
he's
got to
saying
compare him to
Chase.
receivers.
Well,
almost.
was Jamar
Like,
Chase?
I think there's. I had Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill on my list, but I did not have Jamar Chase in my top 5.
I mean, I think those guys are the same ilk.
they are not the same.
What are they statistically?
Well, okay. So Kelce was 8th this season in all players.
Receiving yards.
Receiving yards,
Yeah, no,
13.
I'm talking about just receivers. Where does Chase come in? And I know he missed at least 2 games.
So
No,
he,
like
he,
four
missed,
games.
he only played
Four?
in 12 games.
Okay, well, that's
Missed-
part of it.
Missed 5.
That's got to be part of it.
Yeah.
And he had 1,046 receiving yards, which is 16th. Of the players who played 12 games, everyone above him on that list played at least 16. So in yards per game average, to sort it out in average, Chase finished 6th overall in yards per game average.
So I don't even have him as the best receiver.
The difference.
Well, but you can't just judge it based
No,
solely
I
on
know, but-
statistics.
The difference between Jamar Chase and them other dudes is this: if he catch the football, he can go to the house today.
So
right
can
now.
Hill. So can Tyreek Hill.
No. Well, Tyreek Hill can do the same thing. I got
Right.
those guys as 1 and 2. I got those guys flip flop because here's the thing: as a defender, they tell you as a coach, make them take another snap. If Travis Kelce want to get 110 catches, great. But I've seen what Jamar Chase can do in a slant, a regular little pass, and he's gone to the house. For me, when you look at it, and the original question was, which position group do you think is better, or position group is the most valuable pass quarterback?
No, I thought it was players.
Specific player. Hey,
I said who, yeah.
I think
Yeah,
Jefferson,
players.
Chase, and Hill are all neck and neck in terms of the best receiver in football.
And I agree with that. Like, they're
But-
all great players,
and I
but
would
they're
take
somewhat
Chase,
interchangeable.
I'm a little biased, but I would take Chase.
I think
to
the
me, the
reason
difference
we went
between
with
Chase and
Kelce-
Hill is because Chase can also use his size, where Hill doesn't have that.
Right, I agree with that. But
Yeah.
to me, they're kind of interchangeable.
Yeah,
where with
sure.
Kelce, there's not another guy
one of
that's going to
one.
give you the production.
I don't
that he
agree.
gives
I
you.
think Mark Andrews is just as good.
I disagree.
I don't. I don't at all.
He's bigger, faster, stronger. Kelsey's
Yeah.
bigger, faster,
But
stronger.
you can take a tight end out the game if you really wanted to.
And they haven't been able
Nobody's
to do
been
it
able
yet.
to do it, though.
I saw
Got
it.
110 catches.
I'm watching the playoff. If you watch them, you can say, all right, well, we're going to just double him. What they haven't been able to do, because he has Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes can throw to anybody. Patrick Mahomes can throw to Valdez-Scantling. He can throw to running backs.
That's true. I mean, he is valuable as he is because he's got a quarterback
Right.
that
Yes.
knows. And the nonverbal that those two have going, too, I don't know how you weigh that into the equation. Like, would he be as good if he played for another team? No, he wouldn't.
No.
But in his situation, I just think if the question was this, we're going to have a draft right now, and you can take any player first, but it's not a quarterback.
I think we all
I'm
are.
Travis
taking
Kelce wouldn't go first.
No, we'd all take defensive ends.
Who would you take?
You would take Travis Kelce over
Nope.
Chase Jefferson and
One-
Tyreek Hill?
Yes.
Not
For
a
1
million
year.
years.
Because if I don't get Hill or Jefferson, there's other guys at that position that can change my life.
In real life, you saying that if you say you can have one person and it ain't a
No,
quarterback.
I don't think any team in the NFL would take Travis Kelce
Who you
over those
taking,
top
Chase?
3 receivers.
I would.
I'm trying to equate this to fantasy football.
But it's
and
not
tra-
fantasy
not-
football.
No, it's not fantasy football. And doesn't.
And
it
that's
does-
in fantasy football. I understand the Kelce argument because there's a bigger drop off. But
But again, it's availability. So if you don't get Hill or you don't get a top name wide receiver, there are so many other guys.
there
that
aren't
good.
a lot of guys that do
Chase-
what those top guys do.
Chase finished 16th.
But he
in
missed
receiving
5
yards.
games.
I know he did, but that's got to be weighed into it also.
I just don't think anybody here is taking a receiver with the second overall pick.
Well, first of all, if you're starting a team, you're factoring in age. There's not a team in the NFL that would take Travis Kelce over any of those 3 receivers. Not one.
I
if they had a
would.
choice.
I would.
You wouldn't take him over a defensive end. If you
I mean,
had,
Travis Kelce isn't that old. He's not 30.
Yes, he
Yeah,
is.
he's 33.
Ooh, is he 33?
yeah.
There's not a team
But-
in the NFL that would take Kelce.
But real quick,
I would.
Can I
I would take him because he just does something no one else does.
Can I add one thing into the conversation?
Sure.
All-time postseason ranks: receptions, reception yards, and reception touchdowns. Kelsey ranks second in all three. Not just tight ends.
Yeah,
That is
But he probably
everybody
won't
to
catch
ever
Jerry
play.
Rice. I'm
now
guessing
he's
is
played
first.
a lot more games,
He can catch Jerry Rice
than a lot of
in
other guys.
Catches.
In catches, that's it. The other
Yeah.
two,
He's not
big
catching him in
gap.
touchdowns.
But that's over
Listen,
every other
nobody's
receiver
debating that
to
Travis
ever play.
Kelce's not great.
It's great. We're saying,
But he's not a better football.
And I think he's all-time great. I
But
don't know
he's
that
not-
any of these other receivers are all-time. They're not. None of those other receivers
Well,
are
they
all-time.
are through the early point of their career. What do you mean
Well,
they're not?
they're going to be better than Jerry Rice? Any of these guys?
well, no.
I don't know if they can be better than Jerry Rice.
No.
But
Okay, well, I'm saying greatest of all. I think that when Travis Kelce retires, I think
yeah,
you
but
could
the
probably
bar
make
for
that
the
argument
greatest
right
tight
now.
end of all time is lower than the bar for the greatest wide receiver of all time.
But
all
nobody-
the people that have played that
but-
I
position.
know, but there's more great athletes playing wide receiver than tight end.
Nobody
Not
would take
comparing
the
the
tight
two.
end. Nobody, everybody. If you said you can't take a quarterback, who you taking?
Nobody's
Everybody
taking
would
the
say
tight end.
Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
Everybody would say Myles Garrett,
Who was the best player that Tom Brady played with in his career for the stretch of his career?
Randy Moss.
Gronk.
I think it's Gronk.
You mean
Randy
the stretch
Moss.
or one
No,
individually?
Yes, Moss. That was what, 1 year,
He
2
had
years?
he had just a cup of coffee with Moss. I wouldn't, and they rewrote the offensive record book. But to me, I don't think it was any accident that they teamed up with another squad and won another Super Bowl together. I just think that position can be so impactful when the player is head and shoulders the best at that position.
Yeah, but in the end, Jefferson, Hill, and Chase are all better football players than Travis Kelce.
Hill has
They're
one
more
Super
impact.
Bowl.
They're
The others
all- You
don't.
can't.
I know they're young. I have two.
Kelsey's only got one Super
I
Bowl,
have Nick
too.
Bosa in my top 5.
I keep trying
Yeah.
to tell y'all. Every
The pass
second player, if we had to go down the line, would be a pass rusher.
After
you
we-
either say Bosa.
I don't even think Travis Kelce would be a first-round pick if they were starting. If you start him, or if he would, he'd be a late first-round pick.
Yeah.
But
He'd be mine wherever I was.
but
wherever I was
Aaron
slotted.
before this year was Aaron Donald no-brainer.
Absolutely.
Because the gap before this past season, the gap between Aaron Donald and any other defensive tackle was
He was
massive.
Travis Kelce. He was the Travis Kelce
Yes,
of defensive
massive.
ends or tackles.
I think Micah Parsons, if you were
Micah's my fifth.
if you were drafting if the NFL was drafting from scratch and you didn't factor in contract, you factored in age
Yeah.
and whatever, Micah Parsons would be the first pick, I think.
I have Kelce, Jefferson, Hill, Bosa, Parsons. And then the part of this question was where would you slot Myles Garrett? I have him 10 to 15. I don't even have him in my 6 through 10.
I think if you polled every GM, Myles Garrett is in the top 5. Every GM, they're taking him top 5.
I don't know top 5. I think he's in the top 10.
I think every team in the NFL, except for maybe the Chiefs, would take Myles Garrett over Travis Kelce if they could take one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Without a
I
doubt.
wouldn't even think about it. I wouldn't have to think about that.
I think sometimes in Cleveland, we get it twisted. Like, we get it messed up. Myles Garrett gets 16, 15 sacks a year.
With no help.
With nobody else on that other side. We have not seen anybody in the history of our team even remotely come close to that. We want somebody to get 9 sacks. We clapped it up for Clowney at 9.
But, it can't be just about gathering numbers. It has to be impact on the game. Ultimately, that's what you're measuring here. Because what good does it do to have a 1,500-yard back if you don't
One player
win?
can't control impact on winning that
No,
much.
but at
Especially
that
in
position,
football.
And that's why-
at that
and-
position, we
Yeah.
did the TJ Watt thing where we talked about what the Steelers were with TJ Watt and what the Steelers were without. As much as I'd love to sit here and say, yeah, you're right, Myles Garrett is that dude for the Browns, he gathers numbers. There's no question about it. He gathers numbers. But there's too many times that he's just absent, just disappears.
And the same thing happens with every other pass rusher, otherwise they'd have 50 sacks.
Maybe it was just when I was watching them, but when I was watching the Cowboys this year, it seemed like every time they were in a spot where they had to have a play made, Micah Parsons made it, like Aaron Donald did in the Super Bowl against the Bengals.
By the way, Myles Garrett is rated higher than TJ Watt and Micah Parsons on PFF.
Well, PFF and a nickel won't get you much these days.
But what else do you use to determine?
So he got the numbers.
My eyes. I just use my eyes.
So an eye test, when you're not watching every game, is better than PFF?
Well, no, I don't watch every game, every snap of every game, but I do watch Myles Garrett on every
I know,
play.
but you're not watching
And then
these
I
other
watch
guys.
a lot of other football. And to me, when I turn on the Steelers,
Yeah.
I know that, first of all, I think it was Bosa had the most the quarterback hurry is kind of a funny stat. I don't know how much you want to put into that either. He led the NFL by, I think, a decent amount in quarterback hurries, which
he plays on a dominant front.
These other guys play with better players around them.
They do, but
if Travis Kelce were on the Falcons, he'd be a good tight end.
You got Michael Parsons, right?
He'd be more
you
than
got Michael Parsons. You got DeMarcus
You think
Lawrence.
Travis Kelce would be special playing with Marcus
not
Mariota?
the player he is now. No, I even said that before. You take him off the Chiefs, he's not the same guy.
See, that's the difference.
But to me,
that's the difference, Jay. Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase are great with anybody. Anybody. Don't matter.
Yeah,
Travis
Kelce's going to be great with anybody, period.
But Travis Kelce's not as good as those guys.
And Chase wouldn't be as good without Joe Burrow. I mean, that goes both ways.
He wouldn't be as good, but he'd still be real. Josh Gordon with no quarterback before he threw away his career. Put up huge numbers.
He's not part of this discussion right now.
But that's the point. Like, I don't know. These guys are just – if you're drafting a team from scratch, not including quarterback, in the NFL, especially with Travis Kelce's age, he's just not going to go that high.
Well, at 33, he probably
I love Travis Kelce. I hate to be arguing against him, but you're way overrating him in my opinion.
As the difference maker, like when I watch football games, there was a stretch when Kansas City couldn't do anything against Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And as I was watching it, I said, well, this is the part of the game where he starts forcing the ball to Kelce. And they did, and it worked. It's almost like that's their ace in the hole. When I have to get the first down, when I have to get the touchdown.
And watch this.
They throw it to him, and it works.
This is that, and that's why I like to get my best player to football. That's why 1,500 ain't enough. If I'm in a crunch, all these players, right? I think sometimes, and this is the problem with the Browns. Sometimes when you see these players, those teams sell out. They hit you. They beat you over the head. When they need to play, Jamar Chase need to play, they're going to run a double go. They
know
throw
where
it
to go
up there,
with the
and guess what? We got them. For me, I think one of the things, I will say this about Myles Garrett, which is, I think, a little bit of an indictment on Myles Garrett as well as the Browns, is when you watch the other teams, right, I think they spot shadow. They really do a lot to make sure that person is a focal part of what they're doing in that game. And sometimes Myles Garrett isn't there, and sometimes he doesn't show in the run. But when you watch these other teams, they gonna use them to the nth degree.
Right.
They out there on this down. They got a special package for them.
The bottom line is all these other great pass rushers play with other great players.
Yes, they do.
Did you figure that? But by the way, all these other great pass rushers are doubled too. When I watch TJ Watt, his ass doubled
not
all
as
the
much
time.
as Myles Garrett.
So does Michael.
But not as much as Myles Garrett.
This past season, no. But in years past.
Last year Myles Garrett was number one also.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, but Clowney had 9.5 sacks last year. Defenses weren't just ignoring him.
But Myles Garrett has been since he come in the league, he's been double teamed more than any player in football.
As well,
I don't know if there's a metric for that.
But
there
is. And
since he came in the league, we can go back to that point.
Can you imagine TJ Watt playing with
a lot of double teams can't even be recognized.
I mean, Hayward is dominant in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got that at TJ Watt. DeMarcus Lawrence is another edge rusher with Michael Parsons.
Really good player.
Like, you got Tommy Togiai.
The 49ers have great players all over the place.
Armstead is a monster.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to look at it from a standpoint. Those guys are getting help.
Myles Garrett Jadeveon Clowney got sacks last year because Myles Garrett was getting double and triple teamed.
2 years ago. I said last
2
year.
years
2 years ago. 9.5, 2
Yeah.
years ago. 2 or 2.5 this past year.
According to NFL Next Gen Stats, it goes back to 2019. So not since he became
Okay.
Okay.
He is the most double-teamed edge rusher in football by a pretty significant margin.
Exactly.
Well, how many snaps percentage does it?
Well, it does it by rate, not by snaps. Because not everyone plays the same snaps. But he is.
Did you do a list? Because you asked this question, so I figured you probably would have done a list.
I put my 10 guys I thought could be on there. I would draft.
Wait a second. Before you answer that, what's the percentage that Myles Garrett gets double teamed?
Well, he said it's not a percentage; it's a
not
rate.
What
does that mean? A rate?
Okay, so give me whatever the number it is.
So this is from Seth Walder of ESPN/Analytics/NFL Next Gen Stats. Since 2019, Myles Garrett has a 30% pass rush win rate, and he's double teamed about 34.5% of the time.
Okay.
What's the next player?
I would have thought it would be higher than that.
You guys ready for who's next?
Yeah.
And this is why I'm not sure it's exact because snaps matter. Jerry Hughes is second. He's double teamed 29.5%.
I mean, the next guy
We can throw that stat right
is
out the window.
5% less.
If Jerry Hughes.
And he wins all the time.
So I'll throw that
And Jerry
stat out.
Hughes had a 19 win% rate, and then Micah Parsons, who is a much smaller sample size, and he's highlighted as an outlier because he's played 2 seasons as opposed to the
And
4.
I think he developed so much from season 1 to season 2. Like, he was a good player in season 1. In season 2, he's the guy you better know where he
What
is on the field
percentage
at all
is
times.
does he get double teamed?
So once again, this is smaller, but he's 27%.
Okay, so 7% less.
If
That's
it's a
huge.
percentage rate, which we don't even know.
Well, it
is.
it
else
is a
would it be?
percentage rate. It's just it's capped, if that makes sense.
And that's really not that huge of a difference. That's a couple plays a game.
7%?
It's a couple plays a game. That's it.
I keep telling y'all, man. Look, when I go back and watch all 22,
Yeah.
I'm at the Panthers game, right? And the reason I started going back to watch these whole entire games was I wanted to see if Jadeveon Clowney was right. Are they putting him in situations where it's not advantageous and let Myles Garrett get off clean? I go back and watch the tape. Myles Garrett, the first 2 or 3 quarters, is getting triple teamed. Jadeveon Clowney is getting locked up on one-on-ones. And I'm like,
Because he's just a guy.
I'm like, okay, you're getting locked up right now.
I hope Clowney was right because they should be putting Myles
Of
Garrett in the
course.
most advantageous
Just to
position.
your point,
Yeah.
he's your best player.
Yeah.
You want to highlight him. You just need the other guys on the line to step up and give you something, and they didn't.
Nothing.
They gave us absolutely nothing, which is why our pass rush was.
If there is one
Didn't scare anybody.
If there's one legitimate gripe about Myles Garrett,
Okay.
and this cannot be
Give your list.
denied. This cannot be denied. It's the fact that he does not. You want him to flash more in the run. It's for a big, strong, fast, technical. You want him to have tackles for loss. You want him to have hits
Yeah.
in the backfield. You want him to be more disruptive, and he'll probably tell you, I'm not seeing that level.
And
Which
that's
you
what
can
we've
get
talked
there.
about. But still, it's a huge factor that he's got no talent around him compared to these other guys.
To your point, if it is a 50-50 split run and pass, I just need my most impactful defensive player to be impactful all the time when he's on the field. And
Yeah.
when it's a run play,
Yeah,
he's not interested.
that's fair.
He's just
That's-
not. And and it is fair. Some guys can do both well. Can pass rush and stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the guys that bring max value at that position because you don't have to take them off the field. You can hope that they step up and make a big play, even if it is a run play.
That's why-
And you're not just rushing past the ball carrier.
That's why, to me, Reggie White, people say Lawrence
my
Taylor
God.
all the time. To me, Reggie White is always consistently in that area because he's 315 pounds. He's stopping the run. He's strong enough to play at 3 technique. He's fast enough to play on the edge, and he's disruptive. That's why he's in that mix. That's why when Aaron Donald was at the top of his game, man,
he resembled that.
couldn't do nothing with him. Couldn't do nothing.
McNuggets, what was yours?
So 2 things real quick, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
I'll tell you my list, but do you remember we did this kind of with TJ Watt a
Yeah.
while ago?
Yep.
And I said they were 1-10 without Watt, and Bull said we need the context without Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
I just stumbled upon that stat. They're 8-3 without Cam Hayward.
Yeah,
So-
someone sent that to me. Someone
Yeah.
sent, like when we were in the moment when we were doing that discussion.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So they were
someone
8-3.
had tweeted me the record without Cam.
My list.
I
if
don't
was
even
doing
fear
it-
there. I don't fear the Steelers at all when TJ's not on the field. I just don't.
If I was to do this, I actually agree with G. Bush. I think defensive ends would be the first guys I'd pick, and it would be Parsons, Bosa. I'm not sure.
Would you take Parsons over Bosa or no particular order? Because I thought about that too. I eventually, after tight end, wide receiver, I went Bosa and Parsons.
Bosa had a slightly better season. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
I think so.
I think Parsons a little younger, maybe a little more versatile because he can play that hybrid linebacker. But, I mean, you're asking me to pick 2 unbelievable options.
No, I
Myles
know.
Garrett's in that conversation, as is TJ Watt.
And to Bull's point, if we did this last year, it would be Aaron Donald. We wouldn't have to think about it.
You want to think about it, exactly. So it changes, and it may change next year. If we are taking receivers, though, I'd take Justin Jefferson over both Hill and Jamar Chase. But that's just
Jefferson was
personal
number
preference.
2 on my list,
Just personal preference.
and then Tyreek Hill.
So
I want players that can do things that not everybody at that position can do.
And I beg to watch this. If it was a year ago, I think Cooper Kupp is in that position.
Sure.
Like you got to think about it like this. Cooper Kupp is like, come on, man. He had like 1,800 yards and
We're all totally ignoring the offensive line, which is extremely important.
Trent
Yeah,
Williams
because
was
I
a
was
5 on
looking
my
at it
list, by the way.
as a player. 'Cause
Yeah.
He said top 5 players.
Well, Trent
Now,
Williams
if you're
was
going to
number
go
5.
unit,
Yeah.
give me the defensive line.
you had Trent Williams at 5?
Yeah, if you go, Steve, pull back 128. I don't know, when I was just putting together offense and defensive players, I actually had Lane Johnson and Trent Williams as two guys on the list when I was making it. And I did put Cooper Kupp. You could have picked any of those receivers, Hill, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. But I do agree with the offensive line being probably the most crucial unit outside of a quarterback.
Well, the point of attack is where you win. So, I mean, from that standpoint, the defensive line, the offensive line, if you're great there, you have a really good chance at winning.
Hey, you know what the funny thing is? We be making it. If you go on our statistics and categories, if you just blindly was like, oh, you listen to the rules of what we just said, you got to have an offensive line. Yeah. Well, the Browns got a line. Well, you like, hey, you got to have somebody who's a star and that can get you a playmaker. You're like, well, we got a run back. He's 1,500 yards. They're like, hey, you know what? You got to have a pass rusher. Well, the Browns got a pass rusher. Well, why don't we, like, if you look at it on face value, you look at it and be like, the Browns are supposed to be cold. The Browns are supposed to be.
They got nothing else in the front seven on defense.
Yeah,
and they don't have the superstar wide receiver. We're talking about Cooper's a good wide receiver, but they don't have the superstar.
They got a receiver. Yeah. It's just when you build these teams or whatever, it's not like the Browns are devoid of like different pieces that you build your house with. They got some good stuff. They just need to fill in these other parts.
I do think I think I'll speak for myself. I overrated the Browns' talent going into last year, I believe, because I got caught up in the star power and ignored the fact that they do not have nearly enough second and third tier players. And that's something they must work on this offseason. And a lot of that's because they've missed on a lot of their draft picks. They
haven't gotten enough out of their picks, for sure.
Especially in the front seven. It's been a major failure.
And when you look at what the Bengals have done in the draft, and the Bengals, the Eagles, the Chiefs, these are teams that have depth throughout there. The Niners.
Yeah.
Zach Jackson's made that point multiple times. My partner at The Athletic, he said these good teams have waves of defensive linemen that they can just roll in, and the Browns do not.
Did he get to a conclusion? Like they don't because the drafts?
Well, yeah, I think it's all the reasons. I've said it multiple times. They've actually tried to address defensive tackle multiple times. They keep picking the wrong guys.
Yeah, that's right.
They're either picking the wrong guys or not develop them. Like that's it.
So, do you think there's talk in the organization of so there might be certain positions that you're just better off going free agent than instead of the draft? And I think that might be a perfect example.
But the tricky part for the Browns is they're so top heavy financially that it's not like you could throw a ton of money on the defensive line now because you're already spending on a lot of high-end players. If they don't start getting it right. Now, it's not that they haven't gotten it right at all. That Martin Emerson was a great pick last year.
No, but we're talking specifically up front.
Right.
They've missed on everybody they've taken up front.
And they should spend on at least one defensive line.
Just give me average.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll take average.
Because I think the Bengals
bring
have
back
some
Larry
average guys mixed
Ogunjobi
in there.
and give me average.
Yeah, average will win you some games.
They are so far below average right now, particularly up the middle at defensive tackle.
Right.
That's the biggest wound on the team.
The Bengals defensive line, they have DJ Reader. He's borderline elite as a defensive tackle. TJ Hendrickson, very good pass rusher. Not elite, but very good. And then Sam Hubbard and BJ Hill are just solid. They're good. They're solid players. They're not spectacular, but they're not scrubs.
But
they're solid players.
Where they're supposed to be.
And their depth. You look at this Joseph Osai, who obviously had the break, but he's come along as it's his second year in the league, and he's now a good third end.
But we're supposed to pivot to the Cavs. I want to ask you, my boy James Rapine said the Browns might be in the interest for Jesse Bates. I don't watch Jesse Bates all the time. On paper, he looked like he better than John Johnson. Is Jesse Bates a good ball player, great ball player, or is he somebody in between?
I think Jesse Bates is a very good safety. He's not an elite safety, but he's in that next level. Okay. Like he's like a borderline Pro Bowl safety. Like he's really good. He's probably, a top 10 safety in the league, but not – I wouldn't spend – to me – unless I'm getting like a Troy Polamalu or the best of the best, I'm not spending big money on a safety. So I actually don't think the Browns should go down that road.
Okay.
He's good, and it would be he's an upgrade over John Johnson.
Do we know what's going on with their defensive coordinator?
He's one of the two finalists for the Cardinals job.
He and who else?
And
Mike Kafka, the Giants offensive coordinator.
I'm hoping they don't lose. Oh my God.
I am.
Man, hey, I know who I'm taking in that one.
Hey, Lou, man, listen, it's real nice out in Arizona. Man, look, bro,
I'll help you move out there, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want him out of the division now.
I actually think a guy the Browns should go after if the Bengals don't re-sign him is not Jesse Bates, but is one of their linebackers, Jermaine Pratt. He was really
I think
good
he brought
this
his
year.
name up one other time.
Yeah, I think he'd be a great fit for the Browns. He'd be their best linebacker, easy.
Yeah.
Easy. And he plays with some nastiness.
Well, we need that.
They
Hey,
need that.
You know what we need? We need Isaac Okoro. Keep hitting these jumpers. Let's talk cash.
Yeah, so Isaac Okoro, all of a sudden, I got a theory. See if Jason buys my theory.
We waited him
I
out.
went and looked, and just to see how many games he's averaged double digit, how many times he's hit double digits in the month. So for November, December, and January, he averaged 4 games in double digits. There's been 3 games in February. He's been in double digits all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Ray
They're
Allen.
shopping this dude, aren't they?
Ray Allen.
Shopping him? No.
No?
No.
It looks like they're saying, hey, look what he can do. He's a focal point the last 3 games. He looks like, okay, if he is that guy, is he the 3?
Yeah.
And how serviceable are the Cavs in the playoffs with him at the 3?
Well, that's to be determined. I think they would. I mean, they've invested a lot of time and obviously a high draft pick. They'd love for Okoro to be that guy. I'm not ready to declare that he is. I think I joked with you guys a couple weeks ago. I was talking to a scout, and he's like, he stinks. He can't shoot. So it's slow to turn the reputation.
So you
on
do
guys
not
like
think
him.
that they're shopping him?
No, I don't think they are. I don't think they're doing anything before Thursday.
Really?
I think what you
Yeah.
see is what you get.
Mikey's been saying that for a couple of weeks. You don't think they're doing anything?
No, I don't.
Nothing at all or nothing significant? Maybe they.
I don't think they're doing anything at all.
Yeah.
They
They don't want to go over the luxury tax this year.
Is the Kyrie trade still in limbo?
No, it got
It's officially
finalized
official.
last night.
Oh, it did get finalized
Yeah.
last night? Okay, good.
And I just saw something last night, and this was I was waiting you out for this one. I was watching ESPN, right? And they asked LeBron James a question, and he was like, I mean, a dude I play with, a guy that I know I got some chemistry with. I was kind of confused. Was he pissed off that they didn't make that move? Because that
Well,
was
did you see his tweet?
What should he be pissed off about? They tried.
His tweet was cryptic.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe it's me.
right.
The
right.
Nets
The
owner
Lakers
said
are in
we
this
were going to
situation
trade him
because of
anywhere
LeBron,
but
are they
LA.
not?
Hang on, I got 2 people talking to me.
Yeah, yo, here we go. Let
Aren't
you
they
talk.
in this situation because of LeBron? He wanted Russell Westbrook.
Yes, but that's how LeBron hit.
It's ridiculous.
That's why
man.
that's the psychopath part of LeBron, and I love the guy. But it's like, give me him. I want him. I want him. He stinks. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Nets owner also said Kyrie wanted to go to LA. We were not going to get him anything he
Good for
wanted.
Joe
We were
Tsai
going
or
to trade
whatever
him
his name
is.
anywhere but LA. So
Well,
it's
and you know
not
what?
LeBron.
I don't blame him for taking it to
It's
a
Kyrie.
personal level with this
Yeah,
guy.
screw him.
I mean,
here's
I'm
my
not going to let him go to where he wants to go either.
here's my thing with Kyrie. How can you say you're all about winning? Because he's now been on 2 teams that had a chance to win a championship, and he asked out of both.
Wait, 3.
Boston.
Well, Boston, he left. But like Cleveland,
Yeah.
that team
Oh,
was
I
going to
see.
win a championship. They could have won a championship in 2018.
Right.
Absolutely. And he went to them and said, I'm out. Like, get me out of here with 2 years left on his deal. He goes to Brooklyn with a few months left on his deal. Chance to win. I don't think Brooklyn would have won, but you can make the case,
Right.
and there's
But
people
they had
who
a
feel.
chance.
Well, listen, when it was Harden and Durant and Kyrie,
For that little
they
stretch.
were printing T-shirts. in
By,
Brooklyn.
by the way, you look at, I mentioned this yesterday, but you look at the Nets winning percentage in the last 3.5 years with Kyrie and without, it's basically the same. There's almost no difference.
I just don't know how you hitch your organization.
Why would anybody sign
if
him
it's
long
all
term?
about winning, how can you say Kyrie Irving is all about winning when he had
not.
a chance to win a championship on
Is
2
that
different
going to define
organizations?
his career? I think his career will be defined by his personality and not his game, which is sad to me.
It depends where you are. In Cleveland, his career will always be defined by the shot.
Well, yeah, that's not fair. I mean, the macro of his career, to me, in the first couple of paragraphs of his retirement story, I think the bulk of it's going to be drifter, trouble, didn't fit in,
Yeah.
never happy, and in general, he was a divider.
Yeah, I don't know what he's looking for. Like I've said that before. I wish him well. I hope
I think
he
he's
finds.
looking for a ring where he's the number one clear
Well,
cut
he
star.
had that in Boston, and he left.
Yeah.
Like that was
He's
him
won
in
2
Boston.
playoff series in his career without LeBron. 2
And now for me,
in 9 years.
from a vantage point of the Mavericks, are you shocked? Are you shocked that the Mavericks made this move?
I am a little bit, yeah. Like
I was like, huh?
I would not hitch my way. I would not want Kyrie to poison Luka Doncic.
That's my fear is he's going to.
And like, okay, so if you're making the move for this year, okay, whatever, it's only a couple of months. But you're trading unprotected pick. You're trading these dudes. You're trying to keep him long term.
Right.
Good luck to you. I wouldn't do it. I would not. And that's where the LeBron thing, like, Kyrie's shelf life with an organization is like a year and a half, and then it goes toxic. But for LeBron, that's perfect for him. Like, bring him in here now. Let's get a championship, and then whatever happens after that. Like, LeBron's at the point he just wants to win. He didn't care. You know, he's dealt with Kyrie before. He knows the crazy that comes with it. He can handle it.
That would have been a hell of an experiment to watch.
Kyrie and LeBron in LA.
With Anthony and LeBron and Kyrie.
Oh, no, they'd be damn good.
I mean, they'd be sneaking into the playoffs.
No.
Right,
but then they could easily waltz through the West because who's going to stand
Right, but they could also lose in the first round because the guys are hurt. Because they're always hurt.
If everybody stayed healthy.
But saying Anthony Davis and Kyrie staying healthy is a huge
I know
if.
we said that in Brooklyn when they suddenly were ripping off all those wins.
Right.
We sat here and said, we're not worried about them because something's going to happen. It's
Guys,
Kyrie
for the
and
Cavs,
Durant.
this is great because now they have a great chance to be at least the 4 seed.
They've already passed. They passed them last night into the 4 now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a half game. But I agree with you. I think now that he's gone in Brooklyn, I think they can solidify themselves as the 4 seed.
They've been a top 3 seed to me.
Yeah.
I've said it all year. They're the third best team. Philly does not scare me at all. If you're counting on James Harden for anything at all, you're going to be disappointed.
But Jason, let me get your take on this. And Jay, you weren't here yesterday. I mentioned this briefly, but I wanted to get into it some more because we are, and I know I am, definitely, so quick to judge players. We write them off quickly. NBA teams do it. They give up on guys. The reality is that Isaac Okoro 20 years ago would be a rookie in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley would still be in college. Like, if they're not great right
guys
away.
were going from high school to the NBA 20
Exactly.
years
But
ago.
think about this and think about what JB has done. Now, we can criticize his end-of-game coaching, and that might ultimately doom his time in Cleveland. But look at the development, the way Darius Garland burst on the scene last year, the way Evan Mobley, and to a lesser degree Okoro, but still, have taken their game, both of them. Both of their games have gone up another notch here in the last month. I think JB deserves a lot of credit for that.
I'll take it a step farther and show you guys like Dean Wade and Lamar Stevens, who were cast-offs, who now have roles on this team. And for a long time, the Cavs were not very good at player development. That was one of the knocks on them. Other than Matthew Dellavedova, who did they take and really sort of groom into this great player? Like it's there's really not many. But here recently, these last few years, they've done a great job of operating on the margins and working the margins and finding guys that were cast-offs or passed over and getting a lot out of them. And to your point, Okoro, let's see if it continues.
Right.
We need to see more out of it, but certainly it's trending in the right direction here lately.
That's the problem with him. Like, just every time I'm ready to say, oh, okay, he's here, because I was ready to do that a couple times earlier this year. Then he goes out and he plays 2 or 3 games where you're like, he's got a bag over his head tonight.
Yeah, but it seems like he's playing with a lot more confidence right now,
I was just going to say that. How many times did we talk early in the year where as soon as he got the ball, he's getting rid of it? He didn't want to shoot. He was playing with no confidence early this year.
Do you think that was something JB came to him and said, look, stop worrying, stop looking over your shoulder, just go play your game?
Maybe. I mean, I haven't had that conversation with him. I
wonder if he has.
I think Okoro just made a couple shots and started to feel good about himself.
He put that work in, man.
It doesn't take much for NBA players. They see the ball go in a couple times.
Yeah.
And that's all they
I'll
need.
tell you who else is turning it on. Evan Mobley.
Man, he's playing.
Yeah.
That switch.
I know.
I'm telling you, I always know when big dudes is involved because they throw everything down at the rim. Ain't no layups. He's been getting the ball in his spots, Jason, a little closer to the rim. I could go left, I could go right. But it just seems like he's just more aggressive. Like, he's looking for his game.
And I think they've made it a little bit more of a focal point. Mike and I were joking. I forget what game now it was at. He was
The
at
Heat game last week.
Oh, the Miami game. Mike texted me and said they ran the first play for Mobley. I wasn't quite like in position yet and watching the game. And he goes, there you go. They're watching the show. They ran the first play for Mobley. And you just see them making a little bit more of an effort. I think he's being more aggressive, being a little bit more assertive. And obviously it's working.
Well, I thought against Miami, I thought that he was, not just for the first play, but he was more involved. I don't know if that was by design or what, but he seemed much more involved that night.
Yeah.
And I just want him to step up in that role and be the guy that can take over a game. And I don't see him being that guy yet.
Can we look up his numbers, Mike, in the last 3-4 weeks?
Mobley, of course. I could do anything.
Because it just seems like he's becoming a man.
Well,
now.
what game was it where
I hope
was?
he is.
What game was it where I was live texting for our
that was a couple
subscribers?
games.
It was the Grizzlies game.
The which game?
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies, yeah, Memphis game where he really, like, Memphis was missing two of its bigs, Steven Adams and
Oh,
Jones.
yeah. So then he sort of asserted himself.
Absolutely. Mobley,
Yeah.
asserted himself
Well,
early.
didn't he do that when against Milwaukee when
Milwaukee, he had
earlier
38.
Yeah, okay, that was the game where Giannis was out. And it was almost like he's like, ooh, here's my opportunity.
Yeah.
And he seized it.
The Cavs have had the good fortune of playing a lot
They
of
have.
teams that are
Especially recently.
resting guys or guys
The
are injured.
Clippers,
They've
and-
caught a lot of teams at the right
And if
time.
I'm JB, you know what? I'm telling our guys that. They're resting stars against you guys. They
Yeah.
think they can still be in
Yeah.
games because at some point it happened.
And to
I can't
that
remember
point,
who somebody
guys-
rested 2 stars and came in here and beat the hell out of
Golden
them.
State.
Golden State.
Yeah.
And to
They're
that
up to 4.
point, like, I think fans and we all react too much game in, game. Like, obviously for the Cavs, you know, it's a young team that's learning how to win.
Yep.
But beating Washington on a random Monday in February is not going to change my view on what kind of chance they have of winning in the playoffs.
Well,
No, but
it's seeding.
would losing
it
to them
wouldn't.
though?
Not right now. No, it wouldn't.
They had not won back-to-back games. The Cavs, they now have 3 in a row.
Yeah.
They
Long
had not
time.
won back-to-back since the first of the year. The first 2 games of the year they
Yeah.
won, and after that it was win, lose, lose, win, lose, lose, win, lose, win.
Jay, it actually goes further back. Their last two-game win streak was December 19th, December 21st.
No, I thought the big what they do the first and the 4 or the
They beat Phoenix, then lost to Denver, then beat Phoenix again.
Oh, I
then
thought
lost
they
to
won
Utah,
2 in a
then
row
beat
in
Utah,
early
then
January.
beat Portland, then lost to Minnesota, then beat New Orleans, then lost to Memphis,
See,
lost
that's
to Golden State.
to me that's a mark of a It's an inconsistent team.
I look at it like this. Last year, you have to be able to learn from your mistakes. Last year, they was hot in the first half, right? They were up to at least the 4 seed or 5 seed. They go into the playoffs. They go into the All-Star break, come out of the All-Star break, and they're losing to Detroit. They're losing to Orlando. And what happened is you slowly see yourself go from the 4th down to the 8th, and now you're in the play-in game. So you need to.
I do think injuries were a huge factor in
They
that.
were.
though.
They had some big
They had some
injuries.
Yeah.
but
But they
still,
also look like a team that got tired
you
too.
still
Yes.
need to develop good habits and realize that those teams, Milwaukee can sit their dudes. Y'all 20 years old. Y'all can't do that.
January also was a tough month, just travel-wise, schedule-wise. Every team goes through it where you look at the schedule and go, oh, man, that's going to be hard. It's usually hard for the Cavs in January because that's a really long West Coast trip. Disney on Ice comes in and takes over the arena for 2 weeks, and they're out on, and it just kind of messes with you, and it takes a while. It's not an excuse; it's just the reality of it.
happens. Yeah.
And January is a lot of times they're really difficult month, and it was again this year.
Is JB the guy?
We don't know yet. I don't think we know. And I'm not ready to start speeding up the clock on him. I want to see how this year ends. I want to
right.
see the playoffs.
I want to see him in a playoff series.
I think it's stupid to talk about firing him right now. I don't understand
No,
that at all.
I'm not recommending firing him. What I'm saying is, I've seen some questionable moves in close and late the last month, and I also don't think that this team should go 6 weeks without winning back-to-back games.
Yeah.
There's just too much there.
Yeah.
There's too much talent. And what scares me is, and you've talked about this before, when you get into a 7-game series, you know what's coming. You know now it's all X's and O's, and particularly in close and late situations, and that's
Yeah.
where playoff games are decided. I know he's still cutting his teeth in that. That's why I thought a playoff series last year was so critical
Right.
to this team's overall growth. And I'm concerned this year, I think they will finish in the top 4 with Brooklyn kind of dismantling.
Yeah.
I feel like they will get a home series, which would hopefully get them 2 playoff series, and we're going to need that before we can look at JB and make any real decisions.
It's going to be the toughest place to play in the playoffs.
It is going to be hard.
It's going to be the toughest place to play. If they can get home court, Jason, I like them winning the first round game. I don't know about you guys, but I think if they get up to the 3 seed, if they can get over Philadelphia, I don't trust Harden and Embiid, but if they can stay 4 or even take the 3, I like their chances.
Embiid's legit.
Yeah, no.
I just don't have any faith in Harden. Yeah. But if they lose in the first round, the clock's going to start ticking on everybody because
They need to win that series.
you're going to start having Donovan Mitchell conversations that you don't want to have.
Right.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's coming. So win that first series, start to build some faith. But I just don't think we know. I'll tell you this though, JB's under contract through 2027, so he's got a lot of time. Now that hasn't stopped That hasn't stopped Dan in the past
No.
and the Cavs from firing people
Yeah.
in the
He
past.
print money.
But
But-
I don't think you could expect more than one series win, because if you win the first round, then you're playing either Boston and Milwaukee in the next round. And I don't think, I mean, it's not impossible for the Cavs to beat either of those teams, but I don't think we should be expecting them to win against
and that's
those
the
teams.
problem with being the 3 seed is you got to beat them both.
Yep.
Woo!
I know.
I didn't even know that. Hey, stay at 4 then, dog. I was just lying. Pull. Hey,
Well,
they're
as
not
the
gonna
4th
see
seed,
each
as the 4th seed, you'd probably have to beat them both also.
You do.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, you don't want to be a 3 or 4 down.
Right,
You know,
right.
if
You
you're
want-
a 1 or a 2, you got to get past one of the other teams.
Right.
If
If
you're a
Good
3 or a 4, you got to
gotta beat
somehow
them
you're
both.
going to have to get past both of them.
Well,
And I don't
Yeah.
see them catching Boston, Milwaukee this year. I think those 2 teams have separated
But
themselves.
I will
in
say
the
this. They match up decent with Boston. I'm not. That's an entertaining season.
yeah, but regular season.
Regular season games are so
Yeah.
different.
Hey, listen. I get it. I'm not trying to see
That
Giannis.
second regular season game, though, Boston played that like they wanted it.
Hey, come on.
You know,
I like
they
the
had those
matchup.
early games kind of close.
Well, I would just say the Cavs played a lot of games like they wanted it,
Sure, and the other team didn't.
and it's still totally different. No, I'm just saying like in 14 to 18, the window, the title run window.
Oh, yeah.
They had a lot of regular season games. The Wizards game comes to mind, where LeBron hits this crazy bank shot off of Kevin Love full court pass.
I remember that, yeah.
They had a lot of games that they played like they really wanted to win, and it's still nothing like the postseason.
I'll give you that. But I don't want to see Giannis. He can get you 90 or something. So,
Giannis gets in that mode where you just
He
can't
just
stop.
can't stop.
him.
He just runs
He
through
is the
you.
unstoppable force.
Yeah, you know.
So too early to make any decisions, any calls on that. Do you want to go to NBA over-unders?
Yep. And today's over-unders are brought to us by our favorite sports book, because it's the sports book of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports
The
Show.
only one we know.
That is BetJack.
Yeah.
Hey, Ultimate Cleveland sports fans, are you looking for the ultimate sport book? Well, guess what? The answer to your question is BetJack. It is live. Download the BetJack app today so you can have skin in every game, anywhere, anytime. BetJack, not only Ohio's sports book, but also the official sports
You ever
book
heard of a
the
three-headed
Ultimate Cleveland
monster?
Sports Show.
Yes.
Three-headed monster? Can
Yeah.
we take Adam's camera? There's a three-headed monster right there.
We're swinging over.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, man. I must like it. The new look is much better. New look is better, man.
Thank you.
You know, it almost looks like look.
I
look
feel
up a little bit.
badass with
It
this-
almost
this
looks like he
haircut
has
here.
long hair and it's pulled back. Like there's a shot there that when you tilt your head back the right way, it almost looks like you've got like a ponytail.
Like if he, hey,
I
Where it's
can
just
confirm
super
Bull
long.
does not
hey,
have a mullet.
Hey, man, he look.
No mullet
Hey,
for
he
me.
looked like a French mobster.
Yeah, he-
French?
yeah, French.
I mean, you could at least be an Italian mobster. Who the hell wants to be a French mobster?
A French mobster.
I mean, I would take Italian mobster. I'd take Israeli mobster.
How about Russian mobster?
I'll take Russian mobster. French mobster.
French mobster. French
That's
mobster.
like a
smack you to
Canadian
death.
mobster.
Come on.
They just
Canadian
backhand you.
mobster.
Excuse me, sir. May I have everything you have in your possession? Right
I mean, give me a Palestinian mobster. Give me something cool. I don't want to be a French
All right.
mobster. Crying
So
out loud.
explain how over/unders work here.
So I've picked 5 props from the BetJack Sportsbook. I'm going to tell you what it is, what I like, and you're going to tell me whether you like it or whether you hate it.
With heads on sticks?
With heads on a stick. If you
Okay.
like it, give me the happy face. If you hate it, give me the other face. Before
Okay.
you take it, Steve, let me set this one up. LeBron James is 36 points away from breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time NBA scoring record.
Getting there.
They play the Thunder tonight on TNT in the Crypto Center, a.k.a. the Staples Center. Screw you, Crypto. I hate you.
Oh yeah.
The over-under for points tonight for LeBron, 32.5. I'm taking the under.
You sound like someone who lost money on crypto.
Yeah.
No, I just think it's so stupid that's not the Staples Center.
Oh, okay.
And it has nothing to do with crypto. I don't like crypto, actually. I don't understand how that really works. But besides the point,
Are we
I
all
say
in
under-
agreement?
No, G. Bush
no,
says
G. Bush. G. Bush, why do you think he's going to score
You think
over
he's breaking the
32
record
points?
tonight?
Heck yeah.
He wants it at home.
Look, like you gotta under.
They are at home tonight.
You gotta under.
They're home next game, too.
No.
Oh, I thought they were on the road next
No,
game.
they're home.
No, they're home
Hey.
tonight and then home Thursday against Milwaukee.
There is no way LeBron James ain't breaking this record. Did you see Kobe Bryant roll out with 60 in his last game?
Yeah,
And
but
he
G,
came-
I think Jason, I can't remember who made the point before the
I
show.
said it this morning.
Or it was Mikey McNuggets, who said LeBron don't want to break it in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, and it like
Gotta
interrupts.
stop the game and have this big
It's awkward.
ceremony.
He wants to break it in the first quarter against Milwaukee, who Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played for, and
Bro.
There does seem to be
early
a
in
lot
the
of
game.
synergy
Bro.
for the Milwaukee and the Lakers breaking it
Bro.
on Thursday.
NBA scripted. You think it's just a coincidence that
Bro.
Milwaukee
Oh, the NBA
happens
is
to be coming
scripted
to
too?
town?
I thought it was just the NFL.
Bro.
Sports are
Stop.
this whole show's scripted. I got the whole 2023 script on the first of the year.
Bro, y'all crazy.
Let me see it.
Hey, if you can't tell me, that's like somebody asking you, you want to open your Christmas presents today or tomorrow? Today, give me my gifts. This man gonna go out here and he gonna get every shot he wants. He's gonna start the game
He's
off.
calculated, LeBron. He don't want to break. Oklahoma City's a nothing team.
That's why they'll be up 40.
And
Right,
he's not
and
going
he's
to
gonna
play.
sit out.
You don't think he wants to break it with Giannis in attendance, and Giannis has to watch him?
Does he
break
want
the
to
record?
do it in a win or does he want to do it in a loss?
I don't think it matters.
Win.
I don't think it matters.
Oh,
man.
it would definitely matter to me.
I think he gonna get it tonight. It is what it is. Love it. He don't care about Giannis. He's not sure. No.
well, you're gonna one way or another. You're gonna have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning. to figure
Speaking
that
of
out.
scripts, real quick, let's take Tagboard Full. Myles Garrett just tweeted this out. Me reading the Pro Bowl script. Appreciate everyone checking in. We are all good to go over here. Go Browns. So hopefully it's not a big toe. He seems to be in good spirits. Myles Garrett playing into that meme from last week that the NFL
hilarious.
scripted,
Hilarious.
which was some of the funniest quote tweets of all
my
time.
God.
And I can't believe people thought that was real. Like, anyone who believed that, just...
Hey,
give
listen,
up.
there were people that believed it.
By
I know.
the way,
There are also people believe that DeMar Hamlin's cloned.
Right.
Oh, my
come
God.
On. And there's people that still think that these elections are rigged, bro. Come on, bro.
I got a legitimate email from a guy, probably sounded like he was in his 60s or 70s because he
Yeah.
talked about Jim Brown, who told me that he thinks that it's DeMar Hamlin. And he said, if you look carefully on his video, he doesn't have tattoos on an arm in which he previously has tattoos.
Hey, man, y'all baby boomers got it.
I'm like, no, this is a 70-year-old.
Hey, these dudes, I mean, y'all, I don't know. Y'all talk about my generation
Yeah.
and the millennials being, it's a lot of people that's my dad's friends. I'm looking at them like, hey, man, bro, you get your boy over there.
But-
he is in cloud 9.
By the way, in addition to all these football tweets about the script,
Yeah.
there's another big thing that's happening now is all these baseball tweets where some random baseball player is alleged to be dating Margot Robbie. Have you guys seen this?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's
So
just-
there was a TMZ report like a week or so ago that I don't remember who the first player was, that some baseball player was dating. You know who Margot Robbie
Yeah,
is, the
I do.
actress? And
No.
so
Why her?
Because she's a single A-list celebrity who's very
it
attractive.
started
Well, there are
just
a lot of them.
No, but it started as if it was a real report. Like they thought
Oh,
it was really
okay.
happening.
Yeah.
But ever since then, now there's all these fake reports of another baseball player
That's
dating Margot
hysterical
Robbie.
because I saw the one about like some Ohio State backup linebacker.
People
And I was
are
like,
doing-
oh my God, good
Yeah.
for him.
And now
How
it's-
did he pull that?
Right, now it's gone beyond baseball
I didn't
players.
realize it was
I think we should send one as a group that Bull is now
Dating
seeing
Margot
around.
Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How will your
People
wife feel
just
about
be
that?
My wife would not appreciate that.
Yeah,
But
so,
she'd be okay with the joke.
gosh, I don't know. This
Are you
could
ready
go
for the
either
next
way.
one?
If
Yeah.
he wants it, he can get it.
If he
tonight.
wants it, sure.
And just when you think you've got him, because I'm in the camp of 28 tonight, 6 or 8 gets at the first quarter. I'm wholeheartedly in that camp. But as soon as you think you've got LeBron figured out,
Yeah,
man,
he's gonna-
is when he pivots and he'll have
What did
36
you
and
make
halftime.
of the maybe it's me tweet?
I think he's having fun with it.
You do?
I just think I cracked up. I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny, too, but I thought, is this like some self-inspection going on here from
No.
LeBron?
No.
He's
No.
not known for that.
No, I think he's reached the point in his career that like he openly addresses things. He's not afraid to talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Like he'll go on at length about Kyrie and I'm disappointed, but we got to move on.
Hey, yeah.
He'll say things now that he wouldn't have said 10 years ago, and I think that's a perfect example.
It's crazy, man. How does it feel to win the all-time leading scorer and you still feel like I can still get 30? I can say whatever I want.
I mean, he could have 30 in the first half
I'll
tonight
do
if
30.
he wanted to.
Yeah.
Come on,
If he
man.
decided to, he'll break it tonight.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of does he want to do it tonight or does he want to do it Thursday?
That's right.
I had a conversation with Draymond Green a couple years ago about LeBron, and it was his last year in Cleveland, and Draymond was talking to someone from high school, and like a teacher or something who said, hey, man, you guys are getting Boston. This is going into like game 6 or 7 or something. He's like, LeBron's done, man. They're cooked. Boston's going to win this. And Draymond's like, listen, let me tell you how this is going to go. That man's going to hold the ball for 48 minutes. He's going to play every minute of the game, and he's going to dictate tempo and control of everyone else on the floor.
do that.
And Draymond said that's exactly what
I
happened.
just
He
watched that
controlled-
game.
He
Facts.
controlled who else in this league can control 9 other dudes on the floor? He can control
'Cause
the
he
whole
does
thing.
everything.
Yeah.
Had Jeff Green looking like an All-American.
If he wants it tonight, he'll have it tonight. I think it'll be Thursday.
All right, we got to run through the last of these because then we got to talk about something that I'm very passionate about.
All right.
A top 5 that Nick Camino sparked that we're going to report.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear this.
So, all right, next one is still another LeBron one. Over under 2.5 3-pointers tonight. I'm taking the under on the points. I'm also taking the under on the threes.
No, stop.
Yeah,
Jay
I think
disagrees.
I'm
G
under.
disagrees. Bull agrees, and Jason is on.
I just wanted to use this face.
Wrong
I don't
side.
have
Okay.
strong feelings one way or the other.
Keep it moving.
There we go. All right, we'll move
yep.
on to the next one. We'll keep it moving. Steve, skip till the next. It's 179. Devin Booker makes his return tonight after a long hiatus. He was out 5 weeks. They're playing the Brooklyn Nets. His over-under in his first game back is set for 20.5. I'm taking the over. The Nets can't guard anybody
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
why I'm taking the over too. Like Booker will roll out there and get it.
I'll take.
Can I have
under.
one of these for I don't give a crap?
Yeah, I wondered why that was on the list. Although I'm glad you. Well, the next one's even more.
I'm going to say over.
I'll take the under because guys in their first game back from injury sometimes struggle.
Oh, you said
like-
under
The
or
Cavs,
over?
the
play 10
Cavs don't
minutes.
play. I take the over on this one.
Yeah,
But
I'm
the
with
Cavs
you.
don't play. We'll do this with Cavs games and some more Cavs stats.
Yeah.
But I don't want to
Okay.
do all LeBron. We could do how many steals LeBron over 1.5. But I figured we diversify a little bit.
Okay.
No, that's fine. I just don't care about Devin Booker.
Okay. Do you care about Dylan Brooks?
See how
though?
much you
Because
care
he's
about
next.
Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Over under 12.5 for Cleveland's #1 villain against Chicago tonight. I refuse to ever give Dylan Brooks props anymore because he's a dirty son of a B. I'm taking the under.
Yeah, I'm taking the under two. I don't like
Yeah.
him. So we were,
By the way, he's not the #1 enemy, is he?
Well, recently. He is.
Right now he is.
Right now. I mean.
Recency bias, Bull.
Yeah, he is definitely prisoner of the moment.
He punched
Big
our
Nuggets
chosen
is.
son in
I
the
know he
private
did.
area,
I know.
which we now know.
Who the
I'm
Cavs?
gonna
Get
just
you a
shut up.
$20,000
Who the Cavs
fine.
fans
Go ahead,
hate
make a
the most?
vasectomy joke, Mike.
Steph
Go
Curry?
ahead. I know where you're going with it.
Draymond Green,
Just-
Joakim
Back
Noah.
and forth.
It was
Joakim Noah?
it was Draymond Green.
Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah.
No,
He
for
was
me
in
it's
there.
Steph Curry.
Yeah, Steph was in there.
I don't
Hell,
dislike Steph anymore. Do you guys?
I never
No,
disliked him.
I used
He's,
to.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's off.
but
Now
now
I like
Cap-
him. I just liked him on the court,
He's off the hook.
but he's just
He's such a likable guy.
so likable. Just-
Draymond is not likable. At least his
But
public
still,
in
Draymond
real
like
life,
Draymond.
Draymond is, you know
Everybody
this.
says he's nice.
Like not in between the lines.
Yeah.
He's super nice.
Yeah, I like.
Why is he
I
such
like
a D-bag
Draymond.
on the court?
It's the
It's,
game.
it's like Stipe said last week. There's
Yeah.
a switch I have. And
Yeah,
I
all right,
flip it.
fair enough.
When you pull up,
Next.
Last one. Over under 47.5 total points, rebounds, and assists for the reigning MVP, Nikola Jokic against Minnesota tonight.
Doesn't he do that every
Anytime they
night?
play Gobert,
That's what I thought. I'm like, God, I think it's probably his averages.
I still.
it's right around his average. It's
I
essentially he averages a triple-double. This
Yeah.
is saying,
I
is he going to record a
still
triple-double
don't get
against
it.
Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm saying he does.
And I say yes. I think Rudy Gobert is an atrocity to the NBA right now after what he
Yeah.
went for and how bad he's playing. So
Co-sign.
Rudy
Rudy
Jokic's going to
Gobert.
crush him.
Hey, I still don't understand how Jokic does it.
Jeez, I don't
He
either.
just, I don't understand.
He's pretty fly for a white guy.
He is, man. He just be moving at his own little pace, doing slow finger rolls.
But when you look at him in street clothes, like you're not thinking that he's that guy.
No.
at
well,
all.
he definitely is.
But that's like Larry Bird. I remember the first time I saw Larry Bird in person, and he was in street clothes. He wasn't in a basketball uniform, and I thought, there's no freaking way. There is no freaking way that guy is that guy.
Yep. Yep.
And
By
then
the
you
way-
watch him play.
Steve Becker says tickets for tonight's Lakers game are at $248 a piece, and over $96,000 for Thursday's game.
That's courtside seats. That's a regular ticket and then the courtside ticket for Thursday. That's
Yeah.
not like the entry fee to get in.
I
You know,
got you.
I despise LA and those that live there so much. I hope that everybody speculates and buys tickets for Thursday,
And it happens tonight.
Take that, Jack
Well,
Nicholson.
We just got this from TMZ. Jason Lloyd and his Mercedes are dating A-list actress Margot Robbie.
Honey,
Wait,
that's not
TMZ?
true. Honey, that's not true.
Because TMZ never puts stuff out that's not true.
Hey, let me see that. Who's this Margot lady?
You don't know
You
Margot
know who she
Robbie?
is.
I don't know.
You would've
Dude,
known if
she's
you'd seen
smoking
Yeah,
hot,
you'll
Margot
know.
Robbie.
Yeah, when you see the picture.
Here,
of
look,
her.
G.
Yeah,
Not my
We
type.
even have it on tag board. That's how official this
she's
is.
ugly.
Not my type.
She's not your type, really. I don't. Per TMZ.
Like, hey, yeah, so yeah.
She was in Wolf of Wall Street. That's the
She
first
was in
movie.
Oh, yeah, I know who
And she
this
was
is.
also Haley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we got to get to the next topic. 'cause
She's
this,
okay.
Yeah,
this
she's
really
all right.
grinds my gears here, guys.
Hopefully this top 5 is better than yesterday's, because yesterday's top 5 was ass.
Mondays
I'm sorry I
yesterday.
missed it.
You didn't like the Johnson Bowl? No. Okay. Well, this one's personal.
Wait, that was what did you just say? You didn't like the Johnson,
The Johnson
Bowl?
Bowl. There are 7 Johnsons playing in the Super Bowl. This is the Johnson Bowl, the most Johnsons
Hey.
ever in one Super
Oh,
Bowl.
okay.
It was fun. Yeah.
Okay,
pause.
so
Go ahead.
I got to set this up. Later in the show, we're going to run a package from Nick Camino, who works upstairs, about the Popeyes meme kid who now plays football at Lake Erie College down the street. That's going to be what the internet says later. So I DM Nick. Take it. Can you WeTransfer me the file after it airs tomorrow? And he said, yup. What's your email? Pal.
Wow.
I got palled so hard yesterday by Nick Camino. Me and Nick are not friends, really. Like, I know Nick. We're cool.
Well,
but I got palled.
He could have gone chief. He could have gone ace. He could have gone a lot of things that would have been condescending. Pal is just, if you know Nick, that's Nick.
Okay, well, I don't know Nick like that.
I don't-
So,
Yeah, apparently you do now.
this inspired a top 5 of the 5 most
How is that
unintentionally disrespectful things you can be called in
how
a
that's
disrespectful
disrespectful.
manner.
This is white humor. I don't know these. I don't know that. That's not disrespectful. Like that.
I don't think it is either.
I don't know. We
Like-
don't do that.
I don't think Nick meant it in a disrespectful way.
Okay.
But when you get called
you-
pal,
you-
it is absolutely disrespectful. Like, what's up, buddy?
It means I don't give a
Just-
crap about you enough.
Okay, so what are
Or
the
I don't
5
know
that
your
you came up
name.
with? Because I
Hey,
got, like,
pal.
I think chief and ace. Those are the 2 I use when I want to backhand comment somebody.
Well, Chief.
Like,
I
hey,
have never called anybody ace.
listen, try it. They'll look at you like
I may try that one.
ace or chief. Chief always gets them too.
So Chief, there was a viral moment this past summer with Chief that is now, if you call someone Chief, it's like we're throwing hands on the spot.
Yeah,
So I took Chief out of that because, I'll send you the moment. Trust me. I can't explain it without the
Yeah,
context. You need
Nobody ever called you chief?
Bro, we don't do that in my community.
What is it?
We dap everybody up. Like, yo, what's up? What's up, fam?
So this is the top 5
All right,
things
top
that you could
5.
be called in a workplace that you can't get reported for. Like, I can't
Yeah,
report Nick
pal
for
is the
calling
white
him pal.
fam.
Yeah. Probably, pretty much.
It's
yeah.
innocuous. It's like,
I don't know.
All right,
pal.
go ahead, man. Let me see. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
get into it.
So number 5, you don't call someone sport. Like, what's up?
look at
Sport.
Bull.
Who calls sport?
Yeah.
That's something you'd say to like a kid.
Yeah, sport is something you say to a little guy.
Exactly,
Champ,
and that
champ is another one.
That is the point. It is not that. Listen, I do like Nick. This is not a shot at Nick. I don't
Yeah.
think Nick was trying to talk down to me by calling me pal.
Like I call my son pal once in a while.
And that's perfect.
how did
but-
you
Yeah.
How did you reply to it?
Let me see if it's.
Pal? Question mark.
Hold on. I will read this. I can't show it, but I responded. I haven't been palled in a long, long time, buddy.
What
Which
did
we're
he
gonna
say
get.
to that?
Which we're gonna get to in a sec.
Yeah.
Nick probably went over that 50 times to try to tell what you really meant by
Yeah.
that. Is he?
And I
offended?
like Nick, and I'll tell you the end of the story when we get
Okay.
to
He's the
package
Nick is
later.
the most easygoing, laid back,
Yeah, Nick
likable,
is-
I have no
harmless.
beef with Nick.
treats
I like Nick.
everybody nice. Everybody
Yeah.
loves Nick.
And
Yeah.
that's the point. I
Upstairs,
don't.
he'd probably run for homecoming court upstairs and win the game. I think.
All right, here's number 4. What's up, kiddo?
Look at
You
you.
know,
Don't
yeah,
you
kiddo.
dare! Don't you dare call Anthony kiddo, or I'll fight you on the
Hey.
spot.
You don't call an adult kiddo.
This is
Yeah.
my point. You also don't call an adult pal, unless
Apparently you do.
apparently you do.
Kyrie called me kid. He did.
What up,
And
kid?
you know
Kyrie
what?
called me
Jason, was it
kid.
condescending
10
when he
years
called you
older
kid?
than
Of course, it was condescending. Yeah.
That's
it's
my
when he was.
point.
It was right when he left for Boston. Right with his first trip back.
Nice.
He said
Hey,
something.
nice article, kid.
Kid.
Yeah, kid is
Kid is
disrespectful.
definitely like
Yeah.
ace, chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ace I didn't have on here. That's a good one. Number
Yeah.
3 we've already talked about, but it's worth re-bringing up. Champ.
Yeah, champ, no doubt.
That was a really good effort. Champ.
I say champ to my son all the time.
Yeah,
Once
it
again,
is-
talking
it
to
is
your
something-
son.
yeah, for
it's
your-
what
for
you
your
say to
little
your
guy.
son, not
Hey,
an
champ.
adult man to an adult man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 2 is pal. I got pal hard yesterday. So this is number 2, and I responded with the only appropriate. Also, that's a real picture of me, Anthony. He put the headshot on. That's just me.
Yeah.
I responded, Steve, just directly cut
I can
to
tell
one.
by the guns.
Yeah.
I responded with the only way you could respond to pal, which is buddy. If you're gonna pal me, I'm gonna buddy the crap out of you right back. So,
I
Now
think you
is-
missed it. I mean, I like all those, but Chief and Ace have to be on
Yeah.
the list.
I didn't think of Ace. Chief, like I said, Chief has a different connotation after this meme.
What meme? I missed that.
There was a confrontation. I'm gonna try to explain a meme and do it, or a video that went viral. There was a confrontation in a Walmart And
Of course, in a Walmart.
it was a Walmart. There was it was racial divide. We'll just say it at that.
Yeah.
And some guy walked up to the other guy and said, "You're not that effing guy, Chief." And the other guy just literally put the tail between his legs and walked away.
Oh, I guess he's not that
So now
effing
if you
guy.
say Chief, it's like,
By the way, every story like that either starts with in Walmart or in Florida.
Yeah,
One or the
yeah,
other.
Florida
And a
man.
Walmart,
It probably
Florida.
was.
Walmart, Florida, then it's all
You
hell's
have
broken
to
loose.
follow the Twitter handle Florida Man.
Yeah, Florida man.
Epic.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now, but
Because
wait a
all
minute.
good stories start with
The
a
Florida
Florida
man.
man.
Okay.
But let's go back to the buddy, because I say bud to people all the time. Is bud different from buddy? Or am I being disrespectful and don't know it?
Well,
I'm like,
how do you
hey,
say
bud,
it? Like-
hey, bud, what's going on?
no, hey, bud's fine. Hey, bud, I'll take.
All right,
Bud's
but wait
all
a
right.
second. I need to ask a
the
serious
D
question,
on
though,
the end?
which is a spin-off of this conversation. It's a
Just
great
don't give him the
conversation.
D.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do when you've worked with someone a while, or
Oh, I know where you're going.
you
with
go
this.
to a store all the
Yeah,
time and the
yep.
people know you,
Yep.
and you don't know people's names?
Big guy.
Man,
Everybody to
I go
me
to
is
man.
big guy.
I go to
Yeah.
man. Hey, man.
I'm big guy.
I feel so bad. There's one store I go to, like I'm there 3-4 times a week.
I know.
And everybody there knows my name. And I don't know any of their names.
It's tough.
And now I can't ask because I've been going for a long time.
You know, I know. Yeah, everybody's
it-
big guy. Like
I man
even people, it's tough to know
Yeah.
when someone comes up to you. Have you met them? Because I've done this before.
Yeah.
Hey, great to see you again. I've never met you. This is the first.
Oh,
so
yeah.
then you're backed into that corner.
Yep.
So I go with the completely always interchangeable.
Yeah.
Hey, big guy. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Fact.
See, what you
All-
got, what I do when I'm with my wife is my wife will go over to the person
Yes,
and say,
and then
"Hi,
you can
I'm
say,
Liz. What's
yes,
your name?"
Yes, I do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Honey,
we've run that.
Go
we've run
run,
that.
saves the
go
day,
run some
right?
intel for
We've
me.
run that pick and roll
I
before.
don't know this guy, he's coming this way.
Go set the
no
screen
idea.
for me.
Pocket pass.
That's the screen.
By the way, it's a foul too. Don't be asking nobody, do they know your name? As used to happen all the time in college. You don't even know my name, do you? No, I don't. You didn't. You weren't like. I'm sorry. Stop trying to get. You can't get that off.
If you have to ask, the
I know.
odds are no, I
I
don't
always
know your
feel
name.
bad when that happens.
I
but-
do too. It's terrible.
Don't.
Yeah.
It's on
Terrible.
that person.
Yeah.
Two things. One, what I do for random people. What's up, boss? I just call him boss.
Boss works too. That's my big guy.
Two, I made a crucial error here, but it actually enhances pal being even more disrespectful.
Okay.
I just looked up that video that I told you about Chief.
It was pal, not chief.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that effing guy, pal. Double palled him, which makes
Wow,
what Nick Camino
that's
said
why-
to me even worse.
That's why you were offended by it.
And I thought it was Chief in my head, so
Yeah.
Chief is fine. You know what, Chief? On the appropriate list, but it's still disrespectful. Not as
chief
bad.
is absolutely disrespectful.
Pal has now skyrocketed Buddy, which means I need to find something worse than Buddy to get back to Nick with, because I thought I won up Nick.
Go with
but
Ace.
now I got one down
Go
on
with
Nick.
Ace.
Well,
Ace or chief?
Y'all really can't. Well, somebody had to explain it to me in the chat. That said, G. Bush, this is the equivalent of somebody calling you son. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. Or the equivalent of somebody calling y'all something that y'all can't say. So it's like little. You see how that goes? They understand what the word is, but y'all can't say it.
Boy, I don't know. I'm confused.
I know what you mean, G. Bush.
You like if
I've been
somebody
in enough locker rooms to know what you
right?
mean.
They'll be like, man, you's a little. What? You can't call me no little. What you mean? That-
Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
G.
see-
Bush is the only one who can say this word, but he's not going to say
Oh,
it.
Yeah.
oh, okay. I got it now.
You got to fight for that. Like, you just got to fight. You be like, hold on, bro. We could be, even if your brother say that, bro, your brother tell you that, I'm like, hold on, bro, you can't say that to me in
You
front
mean a
of.
white guy said that to you?
No, I'm just saying that's the equivalent of the black code of what y'all
see.
talking about. So
Yeah.
I didn't get pal or guy. I'm like, why is that disrespectful? They was like, no. That's the equivalent of you walking down the street and somebody call you that. I said, oh, I understand now. We're on the same page. I get you. I see why that's disrespectful. Jason been in some locker rooms.
Oh, I've heard a thing or two.
And it's funny. People will say, why are you guys so comfortable? They're comfortable saying that.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. They're like, there's people right now so confused.
Yeah.
They're so confused. Like, what is he talking about?
But you'll never explain it to them.
No. So you just got to know. You got to go ask a black friend. You got
One
2 or 3.
last
You don't
Sounds
have
like a
one,
good-
find one.
That sounds
Find
like a
one.
good show segment.
Yeah, actually.
Ask a
Black
black
friend.
Yeah.
G. Bush, if you want to do that, come up with some. We'll put some graphics together. We can,
You know what,
we can
real
decide
I
quick?
think no. G. Bush goes on the street and does. You know the man on the street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's really the man on the street.
Yeah, it's like
Not the street.
Yeah.
Like man on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
the real street.
in Collinwood over there just hanging out.
I have to say this since we're kind of on the topic. When Chris Haynes was in Cleveland, Chris now is doing great things at TNT, sidelines and all
Yeah.
that. When Chris was covering the Cavs, it was me, Chris, Joe, and McMenamin. And I used to love to make Chris go out and do white people things. So we would go to Oklahoma City and go to like this country bar and throw darts. and Chris
Line
is like,
dance.
Chris is looking around like, what did I do wrong in life that this is where I'm at?
You can't be throwing no darts in a place of eatery.
Chris Haynes threw darts like Aroldis Chapman. He would just throw it 110 miles an hour and hope it stuck into the board. It was
You could barely pull the dart out.
Oh, it was a
that's
fantastic
such a
night.
white thing, throwing
Yeah,
darts.
yeah.
That'd
we
be
would
great. Now that'd make a great segment for
Yeah,
G.
G. Bush, we'll work on that after. I got one more thing.
make G do white people
G.
things.
Bush does white things.
There you go.
I got a bow tie in the Camino conversation. We're gonna bring in Darren Smith. I see him from Radio Row.
Taking
We're gonna get a
bowling.
mic check in a sec. But
I love bowling.
after we talk to Darren, we're gonna run that package from Nick. And Nick was supposed to send me the package yesterday before he left work. He didn't, so he told me how to get it this morning from the RV.
Do we have it now?
We do have it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
So I texted him this morning and said, "Everything's in, easy money," and he said, "Perfect." Also, my wife read that text first, yelled at me in the shower. Who is McNuggets, and what does he mean? Everything's in, easy money. So Nick, I apologize for ruining your morning.
Wow,
Buddy.
Nick's getting his text screen from wifey. Wow.
Buddy,
I've been to dinner with Nick and his wifey. She didn't seem like that kind of.
just saying.
Wow.
Just saying. We love Nick. Nick
All
actually
kinds of
Nick should
troubles.
come down one day. Nick would be fun on the show. For
Well,
us.
Nick is great fun.
After putting on Twitter that I'm marrying Margot Robbie, my texts are about to get screened when I get home. Thanks a lot for that, guys.
Yeah.
Bull, you want to do some membership so I get a mic check on Darren, and then we'll
Sure,
bring
let's
him in?
do it. I'll tell you what, $1.99 is the original tier, the starters tier. You get the emojis, the badges, the community posts. Then you got to step things up possibly for the coaches tier. For less than $60 a year, just $4.99 a month, you get everything in the starters tier, plus the overtime content. And overtime today, what the hell are we talking about? I forgot what we're talking about on overtime today. Do you remember?
Plus,
Josh Johnson and the interview, and why
What-
more reporters need to be like that little
Oh,
kid.
yeah, the little guy who did Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
If you haven't seen the video, there's this little guy, I can't think of his name,
Well, we're going to show it in
who's
overtime.
interviewing Josh Jacobs. I don't know where this kid came from. He is the cutest kid, and he is, I mean, he must be like 8, 9 years old, but he talks like he's an adult. And it was unbelievable, this interview. This
You
kid's
forgot about-
destined for stardom.
forgot about the budget. You forgot about the budget membership. The budget membership is this. You ain't even got to pay us nothing. But
free.
what you can do,
Okay.
just hit that like button. Stop playing. Like button is free. The like button is just like, boop. I know y'all in there. I see y'all. It's 800 people in here. I should have 800 likes, right? Theoretically.
Sure.
Theoretically, we should have 1,000 likes a show, right? So it's free. Go ahead, hit me up with that budget membership, courtesy of G. Bush.
Free's the best.
Yo, dude.
By the way,
Free.
apparently Myles Garrett's dislocated toe popped right back into place somehow.
How do people know that?
Well, I imagine they talked to the trainer that probably
That's
did
what
it.
Ian Rappaport just reported.
The toe just went right back.
Has anybody ever had a dislocated finger or toe? I've had both.
I have.
They're not fun, but when they are popped in, and as long as there's no break and nothing's, it's fine.
They had to
Yeah,
put a pin in
especially if
mine.
it's not the
But
big
it
toe.
hurts just as bad when they knock it in.
Yeah.
Is when it gets
I
knocked
got
A
out.
broken toe hurts like hell.
I got hurt. I broke my toe doing white things. I was
Bowling?
I was 12 years old, and it was raining outside. We was at a baseball pizza party, and there was this pool, and everybody was like, "Yo, don't run to the swimming pool." My mom said I couldn't get in. It cleared up. I was able to get in, so I took off and ran. My big self, and I was about the same size I am today. It was
At 12.
It was a grassy knoll. That was a grassy knoll that was wet, and I went whoop, fell down this thing, and there was concrete steps, and my toe hit this concrete step, and I rolled over, tumbled, didn't fall into the water, and I looked down. I was like, I'm good. I went to get up. I said, something's funny.
I can't stand
I
right.
looked down and was like, ah!
Point in the other direction.
Mom! I ran and tackled my mom. She was so embarrassed because there was a bunch of white people around. It was just me. She was like, why are you playing this? Why are you doing this? I said, my toe, my toe, my toe. My toe hurts so bad.
The grassy knoll got
The
you,
grassy
bro.
knoll got me. I had to get a pin put in it. It was looking terrible. It was leaning like this.
Yeah, that's just never fun. All right, let's do this. Let's go to Radio Row in Phoenix, Arizona. Site, I guess Glendale.
It's nice and warm there.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to be. The last time it was there, I was out there, and it was not so great. It was like 40s in the morning, got up into the mid-50s. It was not a great week. Darren Smith
Before we
covers
punch
the
him up,
Chiefs.
real quick, sorry
Yeah,
to
go
cut
ahead.
you off, Jay. Earl set this up, and he said that he's coming with the most swag that anyone's ever worn on UCSS.
What?
And Darren, I don't know Darren, my man delivered. What's up, Darren?
Wow, let's see it. Hey!
What's going on, gentlemen?
Yeah, Darren
what's
is
going on,
dressed
gentlemen?
for
Thank you so
radio.
much for having me. I appreciate it.
Hell, Darren, you're dressed for TV Row. You look too good for radio, man.
That part is true. I'm going to be honest, and I'm sure you know him, Jay. His name is Jared Bell from USA Today.
Oh, I know
He
well.
had, so he had coined a couple years ago. He said, "This is my brand." I had joked I was doing the weight loss thing, and I told him I'm going to come to LA, last year and be in, a white beater and lathered in baby oil. And he said, "You can't do that. You have a brand. You have to wear a suit every day." And so Dana White in Miami, the year that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, sat down and said, "Look, everybody here dressed around, T-shirts, and these guys look like ragamuffins." He said, "You look like you're running for president of the United States." He said, "I like the way you look. Keep it up." So
Hey,
Dana
it's
White approved
working.
it. I have to do it. So.
Darren, it's working, man, and you're right. That's a good lane to be in because on Radio Row, I swear, people, it's rough, man. They look like me. They look like bull on Radio Row. They haven't shaved. They don't care because
Hey, my beard is neat and trim,
Why
baby.
you catch him like that, Steve? You ain't no good.
That is messed up.
Hey. So look, here's a fun fact. I literally watch you all every day. So like, you all are second in my viewing. I have to watch Undisputed first, and I have to watch you all before I watch First Take and everything else. So you all are it's an everyday must. Like, I didn't get in from open night last night, and I couldn't go to bed until I watched yesterday's episode with you all.
Wow,
So
look at that.
that's how much I enjoy you all's company. But going back to the Bull, you don't look like a French mafioso. You do look like you came from Jersey or something, part of the Soprano group. So shout out to you.
See, thank you.
that's what you know. What
I
that's
want to be on The
compliment.
Sopranos.
That's a compliment.
it is.
100% it's a compliment. I appreciate that. I should have been on The Sopranos for crying out loud. I could have been a great mafia man.
He would have pulled that off.
Man.
Baby bowl.
He would
But
have pulled that off.
so obviously, and we appreciate that you watch the show. Thank you so much. And the fact that you know the show, you know that it's
And
so
I'm a member too. I'm a paid member too.
Look at that, paid member.
Darren.
This dude.
That I am still bitter about the Bengals not making the Super Bowl, of course.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, I know you're not. But
Hey, you're not in Arizona if they made the Super Bowl.
I'm curious, Eric, because I think
I'm
that
still here.
the Bengals are the only team that had Patrick Mahomes' number. And I'm not even sure that they really had his number, but they're the only team that had zero lack of confidence against the Chiefs. And I think the fact that they got over the only hill really they had to climb means they're coming in cool and calm, and I think they're gonna win this game. I think that one hurdle they got over makes things easier. I know Jay mentioned last week, and you can speak for himself, but that he thought maybe that was their Super Bowl in a way. I look at it the opposite, that they got over their biggest hurdle of the last year and change, and now they're like, we got this. What do you think?
100% agree. That was a loss again. The two losses that they had last year, especially in the AFC Championship game, that was something that they carried over into the entire offseason. Talking to the players in OTAs and in the preseason, stuff like that. That particular loss in the second half of Cincinnati last year was something that they struggled to get past because they had a complete meltdown. I'm not going to say the Super Bowl is going to be any easier, but the simple fact that they did get past that hurdle, because it starts to become a mental issue where Kansas City had problems getting past New England. When Brady was over here before they finally slayed the Giant in New England, I think the year that in 2019, and then when they didn't have to play them in the playoffs, but losing to them in 2018 in the AFC Championship game and then going to New England the following season, beating them, that let them know that if you have to go back on the road and play them, that you could beat them. And so they've been fortunate enough to never have to play a road game with Patrick Mahomes so far. But that loss against the Bengals last year stung them more stung them so badly that even the game that they lost to in Cincinnati in December had an effect on them because they were leading the ball game going into the fourth quarter. Travis Kelce had that got stripped of the football and fumbled, and the Chiefs never got a chance to score again. And so that was something that had been on their mind, that they've had the lead going into the game into the fourth quarter in all those games, and to find a way to lose it. Look, you got to remember, even 2 weeks ago when they played Cincinnati, they had 5 sacks and 2 interceptions and still almost lost the game. Now, for someone who was sitting in the press box, trust me, I was going crazy. So, it becomes a situation where you had to get over that hurdle. Otherwise, it might be Burrowhead Stadium or something, whatever they decided to name it.
Darren, for the Chiefs to win Super Bowl 57, what absolutely must happen?
They have to keep Patrick Mahomes clean, first and foremost. His ankle is about 85 to 90%. You cannot, I think the big matchup is going to be Orlando Brown and Andrew Wiley, the outside tackles, and making sure that Patrick Mahomes, stays upright, because we know what Hassan Reddick and what that defensive line can do. If they can keep him upright and allow Patrick Mahomes to do what he does best, and look, he works magic when he's able to run outside the pocket.
Right.
I prefer he doesn't, but that's where things happen. But when he's able to break away from the script and make plays, I think that is what is going to help Kansas City win. And for me, they have to score in the 30s in this ball game. I don't think a 21-20 game is going to suit Kansas City fine at all.
Darren, first of all, shout out to you, for pulling up, man. Once again, I don't know how much you're getting paid, but I don't know. You got a Men's Warehouse deal, but I need in on it. I need something. I refuse.
I do have a suit sponsor.
There you go, man. You got to get in on that.
This ain't nothing.
Listen, he's put together right now. I mean, that outfit is on
That's a
point.
fire
This
That's
is only
great.
Tuesday.
You up the game every day,
I build
huh?
up the game day. Oh yeah.
That's fantastic.
I got a brand. I build up every day. Yeah,
Man, that's it's working for you.
By Sunday, he's going to be wearing the Kyle Kuzma puffy suit or whatever the hell that was.
Darren, let me see you out here in a spacesuit. He be like, this is fire.
Well, I can't. Look, everybody wants me to wear the suit that they won the Super Bowl. That they won at the Super Bowl, and I can't find it right now because when I do, I'll have to pull. Oh, here it is, right here. So yeah, if I were to wear that,
that is pretty
nice, very nice. Now, does that one make the trip with you? Is that a possible for Sunday?
No.
He's not running
Look
that
at Darren. Darren's like, man, my rotation's so fresh. Like every 3 months, in and out, new suit in.
I do want to.
I have so many suits. My guy's name is Todd White. I have so many suits that I can't even hang up in the closet. I got suits piled up that I wear once that I have piled up on my couch in my office.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Let me ask you this question. What do you make of this? We talk about it all the time. Sometimes you text me, and we talk back and forth. And Eric Bieniemy is going to Baltimore to apparently,
He's not. Let me stop you. Last night, he said the only interview he's had is the one with the Indianapolis Colts. He hasn't done any lateral interviews at all, and is not sure if he's going to do any, even after the Super Bowl.
Wow. And he shouldn't. Because I was going to be mad that he was doing lateral interviews, right? My point is, what does it take for him to get a job? What does it take? Like, I've never really quite seen this before. A coordinator who is, even if you want to say that he's not calling the plays, but he is an integral part of what they're doing offensively. I've never seen a guy run and have that much, just cachet and accolades where he just doesn't get. I don't understand. What is it going to take?
Well, look, man. Now this has been the only gripe I've had with Adam the Bull is giving Andy Reid all the credit as it relates to the play calling. Now, according to Andy and even Eric Bieniemy calls 52% of the plays. Andy calls 48. Now, Andy can always pull the head coach trump card if he wants to, but that is what they have said on record on how the play calling goes. Be that as it may, it is an interesting scenario where you look at Matt Nagy, you look at Doug Peterson, and you look at Sean McVay's coaching tree and stuff like that. These coaches never call plays until they got a chance to become a head coach somewhere else. Now, look, how much of it is race? I'm not. Look. I think 95% of it has to do with race. I think the other 5%, is a lot of, they want to discredit him to give Andy Reid all the credit. Because look, if the Chiefs score 45 points in the game Sunday, Andy Reid's going to be given the credit when it comes, to the amount of points being scored. But like the Indianapolis game that they lost in week 3, hell, Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes are kind of going at it right before halftime. Everybody blaming, Eric Bieniemy for the loss after the game because they only scored 16 points in that game. So it's, so he's in a no-win situation. I don't know what it is. He's gone through all the training. He's gone through all the stuff that the NFL had in the back in May. Diversity training. I really just don't know. I think it's going to have to be someone that's going to have to really take a chance. And I tell people all the time, if Eric Bieniemy was an issue in Kansas City, who do you think Clark Hunt is going to side with? Eric Bieniemy or the person that he has a $500 million investment in? And so, the players believe in him. The players love him. They believe in him. Tyreek Hill, even when he left, said that, Eric Bieniemy is that guy, and the players would run through a wall for him. So I don't have the answer, because if I did, he'd be a head coach by now, and I'd probably be, his PR person or something. But I really just don't have an answer. I think, the Indianapolis Colts, they have not named a head coach yet. So perhaps, something could be lined up in the waiting after the Super Bowl game.
Darren, let me clarify, obviously, because you brought up the fact that it's not that I don't want to give Eric Bieniemy credit for me personally. It's just when we've argued with Jay about the fact that, offensive, like the offensive head coaches call the plays. And you're saying it's 50-50, which is fine. And Eric Bieniemy should have been given not been given. He's earned an opportunity to be a head coach. It's not about giving anything. He's earned it. Obviously, race plays a factor. Who knows what percentage? But it is crazy that this offense has had this much success for this long. And obviously Patrick Mahomes gets a ton of credit because he may be the most talented football player we've ever seen. I think he's the best football player I've ever seen 5 years into a career. I don't even think it's close for me. And Andy Reid obviously gets a lot of credit. So because of that, Eric Bieniemy probably gets less credit, but he certainly deserves plenty of credit and has earned an opportunity in my mind.
Darren, let me ask you.
I'm sorry, Adam, quickly, I will say, to your point, that is also a reason why it baffles me why the Chiefs general manager, Brett Veach, doesn't get a lot of credit for the moves that he's made. Think about it. You trade Tyreek Hill in the offseason and all the moves that the AFC West made, and bringing Khalil Mack to the Chargers, you're bringing Russell Wilson over, and here it is. You get 5 draft picks, and you bring in MVS, you bring in Juju. I mean, you got 6 rookies potentially starting on this team, and here you are back in the Super Bowl with a 14-3 record. And I've been baffled as to why he's not even in the conversation for Executive of the Year.
It's a great point, and I'll even throw in 2 years ago when we saw the Chiefs' offensive line in the Super Bowl was hideous, and they turned it around, and now they got one of the best offensive lines in football.
They can draft. They recognize talent.
On a worldwide stage, they saw how decimated that Chiefs offensive line was, and boom, they had a remake. They had 5 new starters, which is why the Cincinnati loss in the AFC Championship game was disappointing, because they wanted to go back and kind of finish what they didn't get a chance to do against Tampa.
Darren, I want to dig in a little bit on what you said. I think we've all known that Andy and Eric share the play calling, but I've never heard it specifically put 52% and 48%. That's incredibly specific, first of all. And secondly, are they going like series by series? This is very strange.
Well, obviously, the last voice that Patrick hears is that of Eric Bieniemy. So, look, I asked Eric last night at the opening, what does he feel they need to do to kind of beat to beat Philadelphia? He said, they feel like they need to run the ball. So I had to point out, I said, you are the offensive coordinator. You can call some run plays. And so he joked about it. It was like, well, I might be selling the running back position out. So, that's something.
Do we just not know? We just don't know the answer. Like, they've kept that sort of close to the vest and how they decide who calls what.
Yeah, and look, and to Andy's credit, he's someone that, when they win, he shares all the credit, and when they lose, he takes all the blame. So I can't, it's really hard, because they'll never be as specific as Bieniemy was in their press at the time that he told us. Because, hell, I think I was the one that asked the question, like, how much are you calling? Because I get tired year in and year out, people talking about he can't interview well or he doesn't call the play. So I'm like, look, man, for once and for all, what's the percentage? What do you call? But again, Andy Reid being the head coach at the end of the day, he can pull rank. Which again, I asked Andy how. I know you get Spagnuolo, unfettered act, with the defense, but if it ain't going right, are you as a head coach going to pull rank and do something? He kind of avoided that. So I get the situation that you all deal with Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland, because in a situation like that, that's what we deal with Andy when it comes to the defense.
Darren, I think the other element to this is historically in his career, he has been, Andy, that innovative, creative offensive mind. And I remember having conversations with folks on this exact topic. What is holding Eric back? And I'll just throw this out there and see if you agree with it. A lot of the folks that I was talking to told me that they, even if he's calling half of the plays, the general perception is that Andy is the motor and the brains behind this offense. He's the architect of it. When you see these creative hook and ladders and all these different things that they will throw at you, particularly their goal line package, the commentators never mention Eric. It's always Andy Reid, what a brilliant mind. How much of that offense that is installed there is from Andy, if you've ever asked this question, and what input does Eric have when it comes to actually designing, not calling the plays, but designing the offense?
That's a fair question. That's a fair point that you bring up. Andy probably does create a lot. You got to remember, in the Super Bowl that they won, I think he used a Rose Bowl deal from 1948 that he used in that game against the 49ers. We've asked that question. They spend an enormous amount of time at the stadium, even during the offseason, where they're always drawing up plays, because I think what they try to do is they try to utilize all the talent that they have and try to put these players in position to make plays and plays. And so, to your point, man, I think a lot of it is Andy, because he's done it for a longer period of time. You got to remember, you're bringing a running back who was a running backs coach, and that they got elevated to an OC. And Eric Bieniemy, people forget he was an offensive coordinator at the college level at Colorado. Now, I don't know how much people want to credit that to his transfers to the NFL, but he's done it before. But the creativity, I will admit, a lot of it probably does stem from Andy, because really, I mean, you got Patrick Mahomes. All you're doing is laying up at night thinking of how many gadget plays and what can I do. And, we see Patrick throwing the ball left hand. Patrick is going to throw probably a pass behind his back in this game.
Yeah. Everything
one straight face.
No, Patrick, because Patrick has said that, you might see it in this game. And for me, it drives me crazy, because I'm like, man, you're going to do it the wrong time. Somebody's going to pick six it, and then I'm going to be really upset, because, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but, I do a little sports book here and there.
Oh,
so,
sure.
It bothers me.
Yeah.
And trust me, they know too.
Yeah.
They know too. Travis
that's
Kelce,
insider trading right there, brother.
Travis Kelce, right before the Raiders game, I asked him, I said, the last time you played the Raiders, you had 4 touchdowns in the game. He said, yeah, that's all I did. I said, yeah, I know. And everybody started cracking up laughing, because I had a parlay bet where, if he had 76 yards, I win $5,000. He had 4 touchdowns, which it helped, but I needed the yards, and he only had 25 receiving yards that game. I've never forgiven him for that.
Hey, Darren, you mentioned that Eric Bieniemy said to you they want to run the ball. It's funny when it comes to drafting, right? You never know. They drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire high, right? Like he was like the 32nd pick or something like that a few years ago. And then they draft this Isaiah Pacheco, who's a 7th-round pick out of
Rutgers, baby, New Jersey.
And he's just based on the eye test, and obviously I watched the Chiefs play a lot, not as much as you, but I watched them a lot. Pacheco is a million times better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire, no?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Look, I have been trying to be the cheerleader to bring Kareem Hunt back to Kansas City, but when I saw Pacheco, I had to shut my mouth and was like, "Let me just be quiet." And Pacheco runs violently. I talk to him after every game. He has, he runs with a chip on the shoulder of being a 7th-round draft pick, and so you just see it. And we thought in the preseason that he'll probably be the starter about week 7, week 8. Man, he was started about week 4 against Tampa Bay, I think it was. And the thing is, not that Clyde's not a good person or anything like that, but he doesn't move the line. I mean, to me, he's just too small to be a starting running back in the NFL.
Pacheco runs angry.
Yeah.
I was talking to my son who watched him play at Rutgers. My son coaches track there. He said, Dad, he wasn't even a difference maker here. Like, when I heard that he got drafted, he literally was like, wait, Pacheco just got drafted?
Yeah.
Because now, my son coaches sprinters and jumpers, and he's always looking at guys on the football team that he would like to bring over to run the 100 and the 2, and he had always identified Pacheco as a kid he would love to coach track because of his natural speed. But he goes, Dad, he was just fast.
Yeah.
That's it. He never made a play that made anybody at Rutgers go, oh my God, we got to use this guy more. But Andy Reid gets him in the right situation.
Yeah. Indictment on that Rutgers football.
I know we got to let you go at 50, but real quickly here, because you brought it up. I don't know where Hunt is going from here. I really don't. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be back here. I just look at him and the success he had in that offense with Andy, and I can't think that wear and tear has worn him down. Obviously, he's 3 years older now, but are you hearing any discussion like that Kansas City might be interested in trying to bring him back and see if they can recreate that magic?
No, I don't think so, because you got 3 running backs or 4 running backs. You're essentially paying $8 million for them. So it becomes a cost thing. And that's what makes Brett Veach so valuable, because, look, they had 10 draft picks, 9 of them made the team, and at least 8 of them are contributing right now, and here they are in the Super Bowl. So you look at that, they really don't have a reason to bring them back, especially when you got a 7th-round draft pick who's going to be a starter for the next 3 years, and you're paying them 7th-round draft money.
Got him on that
Real
rookie
quick
deal.
before you go,
Mecole Hardman. Can we get him?
Well, wait. No, more important than that. You can get him. More important than that, do you know the Joe Jaravicious G. Bush story that happened in Kansas City, of course?
Oh,
Gee, you got to tell the story real quick.
Oh, my
We don't have time to go through that whole thing right now. We got to bring Darren back after the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. And
We give
can
him
run that
30
That'll
seconds. A radio station in Kansas City
Not yours.
thought they were getting Joe Jaravicious on before one of the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Somehow, in the transfer of numbers, they gave him G. Bush's phone number, and G. Bush figures this out early in the interview and doesn't want to embarrass the host, so he does an entire 5-10 minute interview as Bro Jaravicious. They thought they were talking to Joe.
That's dope.
You got to listen to it. It's in our
Oh, my
archives.
God.
It is one of the funniest stories.
I'll send you the clip,
ever.
Darren. I got
Ever.
Thanks, Darren.
Darren, you were
Appreciate
awesome,
it.
bro.
Hey, thank you all so much, G. Bush. I'll holler at you. Jason, I'm going to tell Nate Taylor you said hello as well.
Yes, sir. Nate's a good dude. Thank you.
Very well done.
Darren was great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great
That's
wardrobe.
good.
Like, he's the best dressed person we've had on our show.
I'm
He is.
jealous.
We
I
had
don't like
Jason
that.
I
Bristol
can't
come
believe you're
on.
friendly with him and you haven't told him that story. He's from Kansas City.
Man, well, when I talk to him about black things. We be talking about everything, right? And by the way, he does, like, he's being polite. Him and Patrick Mahomes, they got this same deal, right? Like a Men's Warehouse deal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they both dress up and they like battle each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow,
it's crazy.
really?
And he be winning. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
that's-
Is he from Kansas City originally or no?
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
All right. What do you got there, Mikey?
We're going to see the meme kit in a sec, but because it's from the internet, it's brought to us by PCC Airfoils, our
right.
favorite airfoil makers in
Come
all
back
of
to
America.
us.
Are you looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and signing bonuses. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more.
They're the best airfoils in the game, and it's not even close.
I wouldn't trust any other airfoil.
You know, them job numbers came out. You might want to go over there. You know, ain't no recession no more. Get you that 18 and that signing bonus. Stop playing.
That's right.
So you guys, I'm sure you've seen the meme. It's the Popeyes kid, but
Yeah.
now he is a college football player in the greater Cleveland area.
Great.
And Steve, roll the package, buddy.
Pal.
From memes to dreams.
To be honest, it felt pretty normal because I'm not the type of person to say, you know, I have all this big fame.
Meet Dennis Collin, a freshman football player at nearby Lake Erie College. Oh, you've seen him before. Trust me.
So tell us the background on the original meme. I mean, you're at a Popeyes 9 years ago. You're waiting for food.
A complete stranger out of nowhere starts filming 9-year-old Collin at a Popeyes as a joke. It quickly becomes one of the most popular video memes in the country. It blows up. At first, it wasn't all that funny.
When it happened, I really almost started crying to my mom because it's like, why am I in the spotlight? I don't want to be in the spotlight.
Colin's parents weren't too thrilled. I mean, why poke fun at a little kid, even trying to get it removed from the internet? But Colin is cashing in now and pretty excited about it.
I was actually in the cafe with my roommate and some teammates, seen a message, just got super excited, dropped the phone, start dancing because it's like, it's finally happening.
Oh, it's happening all right. Popeye says it is now a proud sponsor of Dennis Collin, compensating him with name, image, and likeness dollars, a recent policy change to NCAA rules. Collin is now featured on Popeye's billboards, various advertisements, and he's back all over social media, now as an imposing 18-year-old college football athlete. His new head coach at Lake Erie, DJ Bolden, all about it.
I could never guess the gravity of it all, but living in it now, I'm in full support of guys being compensated for their likeness.
Tell us about Dennis. What kind of person is he?
He's a very big personality, as you probably already know. He's a singer, he's a dancer, he's a very good communicator. He's kind of shy, but once you get to know him, he's a big teddy bear.
Colin is hoping his story can inspire kids across the country to follow their dreams.
Embrace everything that's going on. And even if it's in a bad way, everything bad can be flipped into a good way.
And one more little nugget from this. You like that, pun intended?
I love what you did there.
My man can neither confirm nor deny, but I have it on very good footing. It might make an appearance in a Super Bowl commercial this Sunday.
Wow, good for him.
I hope he
because
does.
I never liked that.
Nor deny.
Honestly, it's
But
interesting that he said he didn't like it when he was a kid because, like, you shouldn't be putting kids like that on there.
Yeah,
he didn't volunteer for that.
Yeah, my first thought was he was obviously mocking him.
Right.
And that wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't funny.
I love how karma has flipped.
Yes.
And now, if he's in a Super Bowl ad, he's getting bank.
Yes.
If that's
good for
true.
him.
And I hope it is.
And by the way, shout out to that coach too. Unlike these old curmudgeon idiots like Jim Boeheim, is like, yeah, I think these kids should be able to make money.
I wonder if when he was recruiting him, he knew that was the kid.
The kid also won a state championship in
last
high school in New Jersey.
Yes. And by the way, if you win a state championship in New Jersey,
at Camden.
That's wow, really?
Yeah.
He went to Camden High?
I'll double check, but yeah.
Man, shout out, man. I'll be so happy when I be seeing these dudes get money, man.
Yeah, it's a great story.
I'll be so happy because it's just like, man, you know, you look at people that started off as somebody trying to play around with you and clown you. Now you can say, like you said, hey, take and roll with it, man. That's just.
And the guy who clowned him is nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's out of here.
Oh, you went to East Orange High School.
Yeah,
okay.
shout
Yeah,
out
that's
not the nicest of areas.
No, it's
and
rough.
a very tough public football league up there.
Very tough. Very tough.
And I bet you he get Popeye's chicken sandwiches for free.
I hope so.
Good
You
deal.
guarantee he can be, yeah.
Popeyes or KFC?
Popeyes, 1,000% every time.
I'm KFC.
Sorry,
if
man.
you get some
Popeyes fries.
If you get some original recipe. And it's hitting at KFC, it's different.
By the way,
can I share a story that you guys are laughing at me for?
Yeah.
I've never eaten at Popeyes.
Stop.
Because I applied for a job there and didn't get it.
Wow, you hold a grudge, bro.
That's stupid.
Petty.
You're missing out. I'm just telling you, you're missing out.
I also didn't get a job at
Nuggets.
Baskin Robbins that same summer, so I refused
you've
to eat
never
at
had
Baskin
one of the
Robbins and I
31
refused to eat at
flavors.
Popeyes.
Why would you ever go to Baskin Robbins when you had Carvel right down the street?
I want to know why you couldn't get hired at either one of those places.
Yeah, that's
what the hell
embarrassing
was
character
wrong with
flaw.
you?
Why'd they hire you here?
Yeah, I know. No, it was.
Yeah,
when I
who
was doing an
can't get a
internship
job at those places?
Popeyes, no. Baskin Robbins, no. UCSS,
That's like being rejected from community college. I mean,
Well, it was when I did my internship in LA. I needed money because I was broke as hell.
Sure.
LA is not cheap. And I was like, what hours can you work? And I was like, well, either nights, but not Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, yeah, so you're that guy.
Yeah, I don't want to spend my weekends in LA working at Popeyes. No offense to Popeyes. It sounds like a great establishment, but you should have hired me anyway. And so, yeah, I didn't get the job.
Wow.
And now I refuse to eat at Popeyes because
Don't eat at Popeyes because it is addictive.
I have worked at 3 chain restaurants.
Have you really?
Believe it or not.
Wait, can we guess them?
Yeah, go ahead.
How much time, Steve? We got 90
McDonald's
seconds?
for sure.
No.
No,
No?
definitely not McDonald's.
Wendy's.
Pizza Hut. You told me Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut's one.
He was a waiter at Pizza Hut
And a
kidding.
manager.
and a manager.
Wow, manager of pizza. I want to speak to the manager and Bull comes out.
That's right.
Never
Oh,
mind.
that is a Karen's worst fear.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
What do you want, lady?
No.
Never mind.
Bleep you.
It's the best pizza I've ever had.
Little Caesars?
Little Caesars, no.
Is it in the pizza world or it would
No,
go
the other
different
are not
genre?
in the pizza world.
Five Guys.
No.
Burger King.
No.
Taco
Wendy's.
Bell.
Taco Bell is two. I was a
Bell?
manager at a Taco Bell in Brooklyn. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
When I
30
was like
seconds.
21.
Just tell us the last one, Bull.
I'm forgetting it now. I can't remember the third one.
It's the vasectomy.
Oh, Friendlies. I worked at Friendlies.
Friendlies.
Yeah.
That fried
Did you
ice
ever work in
cream.
drive-through at Taco Bell?
We didn't have a drive-through.
I got
Wow.
fired. I got fired from a grocery store. I'll tell you that story another day.
Fired
In
from
overtime.
Well done.
Oh, what the hell were you doing?
No, actually, I was innocent. This is wrongly accused.
They're all innocent, Jason. See you on overtime. They're all innocent, bud.